Oh, y'all.
And the other one.
Y'all, we're going to get the video started with 2 fish today, apparently. We're doubled up here. What is I think this one out here is a channel cat in my hand, Daniel. And the one on the left is probably what we out here to get. Y'all, we starting out. Bear with us here. We'll get the intro going in a second. Me and my buddy Daniel from Catfish Sumo, we getting together today to fish, and we're out here trying to catch some old goldfish, trying to catch some carp. And so we went ahead and cast some lines out just a few minutes ago, and we thought we would wait a little while to start the video because it usually takes a little bit to get them going, to get them biting. But we're just a few minutes here that we've been set up, and by gosh, we've already. Daniel was just, we had a little smaller catfish on one of his rods that we was like, we don't want to fool starting the video with that, you know, when we out here trying to catch some carp today. But then both of my rods went down, so I guess it's time to get this thing going, y'all. So give me a second here. We'll get these fish landed. I'll introduce those of you new to my channel here to Daniel. We'll show you how we're rigging up here with the baits, the rigs we're using. Tell you about where we're fishing at and how we've set up here. And then y'all gonna be our fishing partners today. Then y'all think this in here is going to be pretty good.
Nice.
If you'd had your other 2 rods out, you might have caught you some of these. You over there piddling around this morning. I'm Johnny on the spot, buddy. I come out here and get my stuff set up. Let's tighten this rod up. Oh, this fish my catfish has come up under the kayak here, I think. He swam up under me. We're going to have a mess with that. Yeah, folks, we're starting out with a bang here. This is apparently going to be an active morning. Be getting them this quick. Look at that thing, Daniel. That's a good one. Why don't you be a pal and throw that net over here one time? We and Daniel, we sharing a net today because he's come unprepared. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we're gonna need this thing on this one right here now. And I don't know what it is, Daniel. Every time you try to net a carp, they see these nets, I'm pretty sure. I think their eyesight's amazing. Because they see it and want to run, but that one went right in the net there, folks. Look at that, man. Carp number 1. That is a good one, folks.
Alive. What a fish.
Daniel, that would have been your PB if you'd have reeled that in.
Any fish we catch out here is going to be my PB.
Daniel's fairly new to carp fishing, y'all. He's never caught a buffalo at all. So if we get any buffalo today, that will be a PB for him. His PB carp is pretty small, so pretty much any carp we get is going to have a chance at being a PB for him. So yeah, y'all. Well, let me put y'all up here. Oh boy, he's acting up. Oh boy, he hit me.
Man, look at that fish.
I'm gonna have y'all set up here and take a picture of me and this fish, would you? Take a picture of me and this old thing. Yeah, Daniel, maybe you get you one like this today. Just maybe. If I can get hold of him. Okay. Oh, he's got his dang fin in my... There it goes. Oh, boy. He's wound, folks. He's wound. See, Daniel, this is why all them carp people overseas use them mats.
Yeah.
Because these things won't calm down for you. Okay.
Man.
There you go, folks. How about that for fish number 1 of the video? Ain't fish number 1 of the trip. Daniel got a little catfish here. We could tell right away it wasn't a carp. So we didn't start the video for that, but then I guess technically fish number 1 is the one that's up under the kayak right now, that catfish. But this one here, though, first one landed. Nice. There
That's
you
a
go.
good fish.
Let's get him out of here, y'all.
Lips.
We'll get him out of here. I gotta land this catfish, then I'm gonna show you the bait we're using, the rigs we're using, tell you how we're set up. We'll introduce you to Daniel, even though y'all don't want to know him. I promise you don't. And me and him's gonna fish together today and bring you with us. We're gonna go unedited, raw and uncut. Well, it was just we got out here a little while ago and was waiting to start the video, because oftentimes when you set up carp fishing, it takes a while to get the carp in here. When you're coming through shallow water, you oftentimes spook them with your motor and whatnot. And so it oftentimes takes 30 minutes to an hour, and I didn't want to just be sitting here, just, you know, waiting during that time. So thankfully today, though, it has not taken that long to get them in here. So let's see where this fish is at. He's probably around our power poles and everything else over here. Me and Daniel, we've got our kayaks tied off to each other. The fish is right there. He's around something behind me over here. Power poles, probably. This fish, Daniel, he has run all over creation. You know, if I had a fishing partner worth a damn in you, Daniel, you would have took care of this fish while I was fooling with the other one. I have no idea. What a way to start out the video, folks.
Oh, he's in my anchor line.
He's in your anchor line. Daniel's put down an anchor here. There he comes. Way to be a team player there, Daniel. Come here, you old.
For that.
He's actually at least a blue cat. So, yeah. This one actually, so folks, we got a combination of baits out today. This one actually ate a rig with a lima bean on it. I've got lima beans and we got some worms. And me and Daniel together are fishing a total of 4 rods, basically 2 rods apiece. And we had 3 rods, or we're going to have, if Daniel ever gets his other rod out, we're going to have a 4th rod, 3 rods there with worms, and I'm trying a lima bean today to try to get on these carp and buffalo. And unfortunately, these little catfish, they wanted to be part of the show too. They said, Justin, your channel is called Kayak Catfish. We need to be a part of this show also. So let me get this undone here, folks, and then I'm gonna show you everything we're doing here today, so that if you want to have some of the fun that me and Daniel's having, you'll have an idea how we're doing it. So, new to my channel, regular viewers, you're tired of hearing this, but if you're new to my channel, this right here is the rigs I use for carp. This is a just cheap Amazon method feeder that I've managed to get. I'll sort that out in a minute. I got that around my main line. But that's a wire coil method feeder. You put pack bait around this, which I'll show you in just a second. Below that, we've got a short leader to a small number 6 size hook with a couple pieces of plastic corn. And then on this one, I was putting a worm, a night crawler there on the actual hook. So I'm going to take some pack bait. And this is just a combination of breadcrumbs. It's panko. And Daniel stuck a daggone banana in there. Hell, it ain't no wonder we're catching these catfish that's wrapping us up in anchor ropes. Daniel sabotaged this thing. But this is panko breadcrumbs, strawberry jello, a can of sweet corn, and a can of cream style corn. All mixed up, and it makes this dough-like mixture that we're going to pack around these coil method feeders. And there's links to this stuff down in the video description if you're interested. But the basic premise of it is here, you cast this out. As it sets in the water, these breadcrumbs will fall off the feeder, creating a chum pile. Fish are attracted to that chum pile. They come in there, they start eating the crumbs, the pieces of corn, your worms sitting there if you're using that like we are today, and they either suck up the worm or they suck up the plastic corn while they're getting the others. And so I'm going to stick a worm on this one. We'll get our other one rigged. You got both your other rods out, Dan. You're ready. We're going to get Daniel a PB today. It's happening. I'm just this worm, y'all. I'm just running it through a couple times. I'm not a professional worm threader or anything there. Okay, so that is our rig that's going to go out. I'm going to stand up here and cast this thing out. So you can see we're using quite a bit of pack bait on that feeder right now. You getting hit over there, Daniel? We're using quite a bit of pack bait on that right now because we're trying to draw fish in. As the morning goes on, we'll use less and less because we will have fish kind of in the area feeding. So that's one. My other rod here, we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to stick a lima bean on there instead of a worm. But I just wanted to, play around with it. I caught some fish on lima beans last year, and I thought I'm going to try it again. Canned lima beans, yeah. Jolly Green Giant, I guess. Or whatever I got there at the grocery store. It's a green. Maybe a Jolly Green Giant knockoff for all I know. This rig here, exact same thing, other than I've got plastic corn that's pink in color instead of the yellow on the other rig. Yeah, Del Monte, excuse me. Plug for Del Monte Quality Harvest Selects green lima bean.
Oh, and the non-GMO.
Non-GMO, because them carp don't want to have a GMO lima bean.
I know.
They are very particular on what lima beans that they eat. So with this, again, I'm just going to thread this on this hook. There we go. And when the carp come along, it's just one more thing for them to potentially to find down there. And Daniel and I, we're going to set out here this morning for a few hours. It is going to be miserably hot today, folks. Mid-90s, what it's supposed to be. We're out here at sunrise. It's fine right now, but are you sure, or is it just me standing up and our kayak's bumping? I think Daniel's seeing things, folks.
I just can't wait for that fish.
Well, I know he's excited, y'all. He's excited today. So let me get the net out the way over here.
Do you remember being a kid the night before a fishing trip?
I'm still a kid. What are you talking about?
Can't sleep.
Now I just can't sleep because of insomnia. But yeah, folks, Daniel, Catfish Sumo, catfish extraordinaire, not so much on extraordinary. You don't like that? I got a funny look from you. But carp, minimal catches, small. So anything we catch today is probably going to be a PB.
Yeah.
Never caught a buffalo, so we're going to have a chance of that today. We got to do it fast though, y'all. We got to do. Y'all got something on your screen up here. Let me remedy that. There we go. But we got to catch them fast today. That sun is going to come up over the trees over yonder. Now where we've set up, oh, goodness gracious, we got one running. We got one running, Daniel. They keep hitting my rods, Daniel. They don't want to be caught by you. They said you're an amateur.
Man, that run.
It's awesome, ain't it? They smoke it when they hit it. Buffalo seem to eat it a little bit more. They're a little more reluctant, I think. Sometimes they'll hit it and your line will go slack. But these carp, man, when they hit it, they are gone. This one I don't think is going to be very big, though. Yeah, well, me and Daniel were set up here in this creek, y'all. This is a shallow creek. Our baits, we're set up here probably where we're anchored down. That's another cat, actually, Daniel. That's another cat. We can't get, these cats must love lima beans. That's two on the dang lima beans.
That's interesting.
Lima beans and the pink corn.
Are they marked up?
Well, they could be in here spawning, potentially. I mean, it's just this shallow backwater creek would be an ideal spot for these cats to be spawning right now. But come on in here, old catfish. You ain't what we're after today now. Oh, is it going to happen? Oh, quit teasing me over there, Daniel.
I have that swivel above my sinker, that bolt, that's what they call
bolt rig.
Bolt rig.
Daniel's out here unprepared today, folks. Unprepared. This cat does have a mark there on his lip, but I don't know if that's from spawning activity or just from thrashing around in the kayak here. You ain't getting front camera time there, fish. Sorry about your luck. He splashed me in the face too to tell me about it. Boy, I tell you what, either way though, folks, we off to a good start here. We off with a bang today.
I don't know, 3 catfish, 1 carp.
Yeah, we after the wrong species. They've heard you're from Catfish Sumo, and so you know what it is, because you got this damn banana thing here in the bait bag. Stick that in your kayak. I don't want that Judy on me.
Oh, I got enough of them in my boat.
Daniel is all. He caught, what'd you get, 85-pounder last year with a banana in your kayak? So he thinks he's broke that myth that bananas are bad luck. I'm not willing to risk it. I don't think it's worthwhile to chance it myself, so I try not to have any bad Judy. Let's stick us another Lima bean on, and hell, we might catch us another cat. If we're gonna catch cats, I'd assume catch one bigger than that. It was a nice run though when he hit it.
Yeah.
He took off. Keep the drags kind of loose in the beginning because of these small hooks, and the carp have kind of fleshy, soft mouths. So if you keep them kind of tight, they'll rip the hook out their mouth on that run. Again, I'm putting a lot of pack bait on initially. But as the morning goes on, we'll cut back on that substantially. Just won't have to have that much. Well, maybe these fish will give us a break here for a second. Was that a carp surfacing right over there? That was a bigger.
I just saw that splash out the corner of my eye.
But anyway there, folks, we're in a backwater creek system today. It's real shallow. It's up there as far as you can see is about 7-8 feet, and then it gradually tapers off back here. We're casting baits into an area that's probably 3 foot deep, maybe 4 foot at the most. We're anchored here in maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet, and then it tapers off even further back up in here. And so we're just going to set up here today, and I'm going to have y'all on the chest, leave this camera rolling for the duration. Daniel and I is going to fish for maybe 3-4 hours this morning, because it's so hot right now, man. We're in the middle of summer. It's supposed to be mid-90s today. The few clouds in the sky, but not many. So we gotta just catch our fish quickly this morning, have our fun, and get the heck off the water and let Mother Nature just bake this place, because that's what she's going to do. But we're out here trying to catch these carp. These backwater creek systems here, these summer months, they seem to be full of carp and oftentimes buffalo. I have fished this particular creek in recent weeks and have done well on both carp and buffalo. So hoping to get a mixture of both today, just to try to get Daniel a PB in both. That's really the goal, but they want to keep hitting my rods for some reason. I think they know who the professional is, the best I can figure. But yeah, folks, come with us today, man. We're all going to be our fishing partners. We'll sit out here, talk about fishing, talk about life. We'll put our power poles down a little further there. And yeah, it's high time you caught a fish, Daniel. I'm already tired of reeling them in. I got so many. Yeah, folks, normally...
I mean, that's a bump, right?
Yeah, it's a bump. Something may be chewing on your worm, though. You may have a turtle down there. You might have a bluegill or something like that. Yeah, that was a little bump from something. But when you're coming through the shallow water, folks, I mean, Daniel and I were obviously motorized kayaks. We're putting off a lot of noise in the shallow water. So sometimes fish spook. And then, of course, you've got the splashes when you're casting out initially. And it takes a while to get them to come back. But today, it didn't really take very long. We hadn't been set up. Daniel hadn't even got out the other rod yet. And so we're fortunate today. I guess these carp are ready to eat. And the catfish, too, are ready to eat before it gets hot. So, yeah, hopefully we're going to have a good time today. I'm going to have a good time regardless. I don't know if Daniel is. What time do you have to get up and drive down here today, Daniel?
My first alarm was set for 3:50.
Woo, 3:50. He come to fish where I live today y'all. Normally I go down there where he lives and I got to get up early. Not today. I actually beat you to the ramp first time ever. I'm usually the diva that shows up late. Not today. I got there early.
After my first alarm went off, I walked out into the kitchen, and my son, just 5-year-old son, just happened to be coming out of his room and like walking in there, and thought that it was nighttime, and was asking if he could get water and whatever. And then he realized, like, oh, Dad's up, so maybe it's morning time now. Like, no, you go back to bed.
The joys of children. I get up, I tell Daphne, go outside, go pee. She comes back, I'm gone. I've had some kind of summertime cold, Daniel. I hope you'll give it to you. There's no reason for me to be suffering all on my own here. I'm gonna need you to catch it too. Oh, middle rod. Here we go. I don't know what this is. This may be a carp. He's come to the surface twice out there, but I ain't got to look at him. I'm pretty sure that's a carp. That looked orange, didn't it? On the lima bean. Man. I may have to hand you some of them lima beans there, Daniel. Lima beans getting it done for everything. Old Del Monte.
You tell your fish to calm down. You're my fish.
I think it was my last carp trip. I was catching. There was one rod that just would not get hit the whole trip. I just couldn't catch a fish on it. Caught a bunch of fish. Couldn't get any on that one rod though. I need him to not go for that other line. Let's have him 4 lines. We got everything spaced out, but these fish have got to be a little bit cooperative with us as far as where they swim. The glare on the water, I can't see my other line to see if I'm over or under it right now.
I think it's all the way.
I think he went over it. I think I'm good. I'm gonna sit back down and see if I can steer him over here. We'll land him on this side. Hopefully land him before he has a chance to run up under us and get in our power poles and all that. Daniel, here's another one. It would have been a PB for you, but you didn't catch it. We're going to have to give Daniel a lima bean. Daniel needs him a lima bean in his life, don't he? Oh. I got Daniel here in person. I got all you people watching at home, and not one of you's a net a damn fish for me. I got the raw end of the deal on this. Nice. Another, what would have been a PB for Daniel.
Man alive.
Daniel, I really do want you to get one of these today. I want you to get several of them, actually.
I'm going to.
Man, how far are we into this mess? We're 23 minutes in. We've already got this many fish. This is a good day. Like we're off to a dang good start. Oh, easy peasy. He's mad at me. Let me get that hook out of you, carp. There we go. We got that out. Let me set you all up here. I'm gonna have you take. Boy, we got water onions. There you go. I'm gonna have y'all take a picture of me holding this fish, not Daniel, me. These carp know who the professional is. That camera's crooked, that's okay. We'll give him camera time on a crooked camera nonetheless. Nice, oh, that's another good one. We've got some good fish here in this creek this morning.
Man.
Look at the knob on that thing's head right there.
What a cool looking fish.
Yeah. Maybe someday. Someday this will be you, Daniel.
Maybe in about 5 minutes.
Nice. Oh, that one's fist pump worthy, man. Boy, if they keep biting like this, we're in for a good time this morning. It's going to wake me up real fast. This is a good time, man. Let's do it again, y'all. Let's stick us another daggone lima bean out there. And you may be hearing some rustling around as I move this camera around today. Normally I've been using the fancy pants microphone. Not doing that today. Just got the standard microphones. That way we can hopefully hear Daniel. If he has any words of wisdom for us, don't hold your breath waiting on that, but we'll hopefully be able to hear him better. I could put a microphone on him, but then I'm going to have to switch out batteries through the morning, and so I thought there'd be less disruptions if we just go regular microphone. Since it's not supposed to be any wind today, we shouldn't have too much noise on the camera, other than just me moving around with going from the chest to the front camera mount. Y'all bear with it if you could. Okay, lima beans, buddy. Del Monte. Pop top lid too. That made it easy peasy to open them up. Back out it goes. We're back in the game just like that. Loosen my drag again. It's your turn, Daniel. Hell, it's been your turn. If that rod goes down again, I'm just going to hand it to you. I'm tired of catching them.
I'm not taking your charity.
Yeah, it's your own damn fault for bringing that banana. You done this to yourself.
I got the anti-venom.
You got something. I hope you have whatever cold I got with us sitting this close together. Me doing all this holler and whatnot. I hope you're going to catch it. I don't know who the hell gets a cold in the summer, but I've had one.
That's strange.
I know.
You can take some vitamin C.
I think it's because I went to that Asian spa the other night, and all them people in there was wearing masks. So they obviously had something. Yeah, they had something going on, and there's some kind of funk, and they knew about it.
No, they just don't want your cold.
Well, I didn't have it till I went there. I'm convinced they gave it to me. You ever been to an Asian spa?
Never been to a spa.
Never.
No, I'm not into that kind of thing.
Oh, whatever. What does your wife go get an Asian spa?
I don't know what spas you guys do.
She goes to spas though. She gets her nails done up. So, fingers and toes, or just toes?
She's had both done. Yeah.
Okay, so she's going to Asian spas. Look at my toe. I don't want to show these people on camera, Daniel. Look at my toes, how amazing they are.
Oh, I like the pink.
Well, he's making stuff up. There ain't no pink on my toes, y'all. But they ain't no corns either, because they shave them off. I was making fun of my parents a few months ago. You pointing at my rod. What are you pointing at my rod? I got something going on over there?
Got a little tippy tap.
You're making stuff up. Now, a few months ago, I was making fun of my parents because they go to this Asian spa and get their toes done because they're too damn old to bend over and touch clip their own nails. And my dad, there's a guy out there that does his, and my dad, he's bonded with this guy. They is something after that worm, ain't they? Left rod and the line's jumping a little bit. We may be about to get another fish here.
Wait till they run, or that fish has been moving that line consistently for 10 seconds.
Well, does he have the bait, or is he just around that chum pile and his tail's hitting the line?
Oh.
So I like for him to kind of run because I don't know. Now, sometimes, I've caught buffalo that's acted that way too, where the line's kind of jumping a little bit and goes slack, and the buffalo's just kind of sitting there holding it. I've seen the wake out there. You see that wake? Mm-hmm. There's definitely a bigger fish out there. But sometimes in buffalo will eat a bait funny like that too. Could be a turtle also. Either way, what it looks like to me is I'm about to catch another fish before you do. Me and you,
rocks over there.
we may have to switch places. I wonder if it's not fish that's been way back and they're coming out,
starting to move out,
and they're coming to my baits first potentially.
He's on there.
You think he's on there? Yeah. I'm gonna set this hook, and if he ain't on there, so help me God, Daniel. Here we go, folks. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's. Yep, he's on there. What is he though? I think we might have a turtle. Whatever it is ain't pulling. He's got weight, but he's not pulling. I don't know. If it's a turtle, I hope it's a slider and not a snapper. I caught a slider last time I carp fished. They're at least easy to get undone. Yeah, we got us a turtle. Old Ninja Turtle here, Raphael and Donatello. I'm gonna land this thing and then I'm gonna talk Daniel into going to an Asian spa. Come here, turtle.
That's a big slider.
Yeah.
I had pet sliders when I was a kid.
I had one too. They were pretty easy pets to maintain till they got so big. I had a 90-gallon aquarium and he outgrew it.
Man.
Can I have that hook back, please? Let me have it back there. If you'd open up, I'd get it back easier.
Are you pulling his legs?
Does that work? Does that get them to open their mouth?
I don't know whether it actually works. I've heard people say it though.
I can't see I see the hook, but I can't get him to open his mouth for me to get the pliers in there on it. He even still had some pack bait on that. Now that was one of my worm rigs right there. Folks, I gotta, hold on folks. I'm trying to look down and y'all in my way there, blocking my vision the way that camera's right there in my face. Let me get y'all stare at my hat there, admire my Kayak Catfish hat available at catfishsumo.com while I get this turtle unhooked here. Turtle.
You got the hook now, you want me to hold the show?
Yeah, I got him here.
Oh yeah.
Oh! He snapped down, he clamped down on the pliers. There it is.
He wants to get a bite of your nice nails.
I didn't have my fingernails done, only my toes.
One of your toes there.
See if he'll poke his head out there and tell you all hi. His shell's dirty, he needs a bath. He's been down in the mud. Hey, turtle, I'm trying to make you famous here. I got that hook out of your mouth. I've done you a service. You shouldn't have been eating that old worm. This is as much as we're going to get out of him, folks. He does not want to. He is camera shy, I reckon. He took off now, as my pole gives. Something happened over there. Well, let's stick us another worm on. And we're going to talk Daniel into going to an Asian spa, everybody. It's happening. His wife is going to be so happy with me that Daniel's going to be doing spa day with the missus. Yeah, that turtle there still had the... But you can see though, folks, that bait had been out there a little while. Some of the pack bait obviously had fallen off. Some of it probably knocked off with us reeling in the turtle, but some of it's still on there. So it just kind of slowly falls off and makes that chum pile. But we've had some.
Does that make you want to check your bait or recast less because
I don't.
Sitting in a pile?
Yeah, I don't usually reel in. I mean, maybe if I ain't got a bite in an hour, I'll reel in. But otherwise, I just leave it usually. Because I mean, the breadcrumbs and stuff, the turtles. Usually, when I catch turtles, it's because I'm using worms or something. I don't usually get them very often on just the plastic corn and whatnot. Yeah, most of that stuff, most of them fish out there ain't going to mess with your...
There's a cool carp.
Oh, you saw one over there by your line?
Well, not very close, but
Well, they're in the area at least. Yeah. Some of that pack bait, when we cast out, is going to stay on the surface. And them crumbs will disperse. And so I think them carp will pick up on that too. But we don't have any wind blowing, any current or anything to kind of disperse anything. So we're more or less dependent this morning on fish coming through this area. Okay. We're back out in the game. Hopefully that's our only turtle bite of the day. I like turtles, but I don't want to catch them. If we get any snapping turtles, it's on you. Somebody can deal with them. I ain't going to.
At least they usually open their mouth.
Yeah. That one there just didn't want to poke his head out. Yeah, Daniel, so I'm making fun of my parents a few months ago because my dad really likes this dude in there that does his toes. Like, they've bonded. I don't know how my dad can understand. My dad can't half hear. But somehow or another, he's able to understand this guy's accent, and they've bonded. He knows his whole life story, how he got here, where he's from, his kids. Like, he knows everything about it. So I make fun of him all the time. Well, they've been trying to talk me into going out there and do it. So I end up getting a gift certificate for my birthday. And of course, the girlfriend, she's all about it because she gets her toes done all the time. So this is her dream come true for me to go on spa day with her. There was a big wake out there. Did you see that, Daniel? So anyway, we go over that first time. And it was pretty intense because I'd never had it done before. I'm sure there's claw marks in the side of the chair where I was hanging on because she had a damn ice pick getting down in around my toes, clearing all the skin. And then they took an actual cheese grater, like a metal cheese grater, working the corns. There was a pile of skin there. I mean, it was intense. But anyway, we go in this Asian spa there that first time. I'm very uncomfortable. But I look around, it's nothing but hot girls. Young, hot Asian chicks. And I'm like, which one do I want? Well, that ain't how it works. You don't pick them, they pick you. All these hot girls, my girlfriend got a hot one. The one old lady in there is the one that does my toes, right? It's an awful experience. Good from the toes and all that, because you'll get in bed that night, Daniel. You know how because you got nasty feet. You get in, they probably catch on your sheets. You probably don't even notice because it just happens. But once your feet are nice and smooth, they just slide right in. You slide into socks. It's pretty awesome. So anyway, I end up deciding to go back when it's time to do them again. So this time I got the dude.
What is the frequency? How long is it?
About every 4 to 6 weeks.
Jeez.
Yeah. So anyway, we go back the second time. Again, hot chicks everywhere. The one dude in the place, who my dad is friends with, he does mine. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I can't understand how my dad talks on. I can't understand the thing he's saying. And he cuts my toe. He does okay, but he didn't cut them very short, so I had to go back sooner. But anyway, this last time, I done got burnt twice. The girlfriend's getting these hot chicks, and I'm getting old lady and the dude.
They're doing that for your protection.
Oh, probably so. But nevertheless, I'm like, we're going to go to a different place this time. Because we got all these Asian spas all over my town. There's several of them. So we go to a different place, and I finally get one of the hot girls, and she was amazing, Daniel. So now, as I'm trying to be politically correct here as I say it, as tutti frutti as it is for me to be into going to the Asian spa, I'm kind of into it now. Kind of into it. So anyway, y'all out there watching this video, if you can't bend over and touch your toes like my parents anymore, go out there to the Asian spa, they'll cut your toenails. If you're bougie like I am and you want some hot Asian chick rubbing on your feet and cutting your toenails, well, perfectly acceptable. And here's the best thing about it, Daniel. And your wife would like this. When I go out there, I'm obviously going out there because it's hot Asian chicks at this point. My girlfriend thinks I'm just having a spa day with her. Mm-hmm. It's all about her. It's terrific lady day.
When guys say they go to Hooters because they have good wings. Oh, no, I'm just coming for the wings.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, nobody goes to Hooters for the wings anymore.
No.
Have you been to Hooters lately?
I don't think I've ever been to Hooters.
You've never? Are you kidding me? You've never been to Hooters?
Nope.
Not one time in your life?
No, I went to one time.
You know, Dan, you was up here. Now you're down
What's
here.
that other one that's similar?
Peaks, Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
That one's better. Hooters is awful. It used to be good back in the day.
One time with some of my family, we were in Little Rock for my dad's birthday, and a bunch of family came in, and it was like a surprise for him, so we set up the night before. We're like, hey, let's all go out to dinner, and my brother-in-law says, oh, there's Twin Peaks over there. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I didn't know what it was. We walk in with all of our kids, and I think I understand.
Yeah, the other kind of Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
I went to a Hooters, the one in Maryville over there, maybe a month ago. There was a carp that come up over there. I saw him surface. Maybe a month ago, the one in Maryville, Alcoa. And I hadn't been in a long time. And I couldn't remember why I'd stopped going, but there was a reason. And then I got in there and I remembered why I stopped going. It was awful. One of my wings was cold. Like it hadn't been cooked all the way. I mean, it was awful. The fries were awful. The water. I got water. That was the best part of the meal. The waitresses at the Hooters have been ugly for years. Like they were hot when I was a teenager, but now hot girls, they do other jobs. They don't have to go to be a waitress at Hooters. But we had went there. It was convenient, and it was a Saturday night. And anywhere you go in East Tennessee on Saturday, probably that way down there in Chattanooga too. Like if you go 6 p.m. Saturday night, like you're waiting. Like it's packed everywhere. We walked right in. There was maybe 5 people in the whole restaurant. Like that should have been sign number 1 that this place is a dump. And boy, was it. It was like the second wing I eat, and it was still cold. And I was like, I think I'm done.
Twin Peaks. They just opened a new one, and it's like right next door to the Bass Pro in Chattanooga.
You going to take your wife?
I don't expect to.
Is that the kind of place she would be okay going to?
I don't think that'd be her first pick.
Yeah, she seems kind of ultra conservative to me.
So that one that we went to in Little Rock, my best memory of there was they probably on purpose sat us all with all the kids like out on the kids like porch area, like back in a corner and nobody else around. So the server brings one of my niece's plates, and right as she is setting it down on the table, it slips out of her hand and like smashes on the floor right in front of everybody. And the server yells a very loud and very clear stream of expletives in front of all the kids. I'm like, how? Thank you.
Yeah. I think I've been into the Twin Peaks in Knoxville one time, I think, but it was way better than Hooters. It wasn't even close. I mean, by a mile it was better.
But now you're just into getting your nails done.
Yeah, I like going to the Asian spa now. I'm willing to revoke my own man card to say especially now that I got one of the hot girls to do it, I'm way more into it. And the girlfriend is so happy, and she's like, oh, and she tells all her friends about it. Her friends are so envious that she has a boyfriend that... Well, they ain't eating it though, Daniel. They're just messing with it. I want to catch another one. We started out with a bang, and ever since you had that dang banana in the bag, it's went to crap. But yeah, all my girlfriend's friends are so envious that she has a guy that will go to the spa with her. Because they all go. I don't think a woman on the face of the earth cuts their own toenails. They all have it done. And it ain't cheap either. It's $35. I mean, okay, Dan, you're a cheap ass. Let's say you did go to an Asian spa and you got your nails done. It's a $35 bill. Mm-hmm. What would you tip?
I mean, most service stuff's supposed to be like 20%, right?
So that'd be $7. Is that what you would do, $7?
So my personal opinion on a lot of tip stuff is, okay, my dad's one of those people who's gonna like pull out a calculator and like calculate.
Does he have a calculator, or does he pull out his phone? Does he carry around? Does he have like a calculator watch? Remember them old Casio calculator watches from the 80s?
It probably would be on his phone, but you know, he probably has specific benchmarks for like bad service 15, good service 20, or something like that.
Bad service still gets 15.
Or maybe less, I don't know. But you know, he's gonna like calculate the exact cents and then write it in and then total it up, and like that's exactly the tip amount. My opinion on a lot of tip stuff is like round up, even if it was a terrible experience. The difference of you giving an extra 15 cents or $1 or $2, whatever it takes to round up to something, means nearly nothing to you, but it will mean a ton to the server. First of all, like that one person cared enough to tip matters, but then, you know, of course, if everybody tipped them, they would make much more money. But like somebody who's having a crap night and stuff, if like that extra $1 or something can make somebody's day who's having a bad day, and if it means not that much to you, round up.
Well, first off, you're a damn humanitarian. I'm not. Second off, that extra $1 does mean something to me, because I know what I got to do to make dollars, by gosh. Every one of them counts. So two things. One, the girlfriend had her back turned when I got the bill at the Asian spa place. So I panicked. I was like, what am I supposed to tip here? The bill was $70. So I did 20, that's $10 a person. And then the girlfriend turns back around and sees what I've tipped. She's like, oh, you tipped that much? Like I had, you know, tipped way too much. She apparently normally gives them 5. So, lesson learned on that. But I did go to a restaurant the other night, and I walked out of there without leaving a tip because I was pissed. We went to Nama. One of these rods got hit, Daniel. I felt it. My line over there went slack too, didn't it? I wonder if he just knocked slack in the line, or if he actually, or maybe he had it. I'm going to tighten it up either way. We're due for a fish here. Hell, we done got spoilt first thing, and now it's been a minute. I wish you'd catch one. We've skipped your turn 4 or 5 times. I see all kinds of stuff. I mean, you see them surfacing out there, right there by Daniel's lines, but they ain't.
What's going on?
They ain't found it.
Actually, I don't think this one's out that far. I think this one's.
Oh, well, either way, there's fish out there. But yeah, we went to a sushi place up there in Nama in Knoxville. Wouldn't recommend it to anybody. I mean, the food's good, but we went in and we gave our order. We knew what we wanted. We gave our order when we got our drinks. And I guess it threw the girl off the routine. Best we can figure, she forgot to put in her order because it took forever. The people beside us had 2 rounds of sushi before we ever got our first. Another group had come in on the other table. They had their appetizer, their main meal, and had their check and was leaving before we ever got our first thing. Like, the best we can figure, she forgot to turn in her order. So she comes up one more time. It's like, I'm so sorry it's taking so long. It should be out soon, as one of these gets hit.
Left one.
Felt him hit it. But after that, after she came up and apologized it was taking so long, she never came back to the table again. I'm sitting there with an empty water bottle or empty water glass, and it was somebody else that would bring out the sushi rolls. And so we waited forever. We were there like an hour and a half. And it was an awful experience. And so I was like, we got the bill. I was like, and it wasn't even her that brought us the bill. And I'm like, all she did was take our order, which she didn't put in, apparently, and she brought our initial waters, which she never refilled. I'm like, I'm not leaving her no damn tip. So I didn't. If I get crap service, I'm not going to reward them.
What if the tip's getting split between the kitchen?
Well, you know what? They should have wrapped them rolls a little quicker. Shouldn't be in there an hour and a half. I'm like, there's only 2 possible scenarios. Either one, she forgot to put in the order.
Yeah, probably.
Or 2, she's a crappie fisherman and she just hates my guts, because they all do. She didn't look like the crappie fishing type, so I'm just going to assume that we just broke her routine and it messed her up. Yeah, I'm tired of tipping all the damn time. Well, let me ask you this, Daniel. You go through a drive-through. Do you tip?
Oh, man. man, that one drives me nuts.
Because sometimes they've got a little gratuity thing on there if you got a sign.
Most of the time, I'm just assuming that the way they have their cash. So I, worked in food service for a while, right? Set up cash registers and POS systems and stuff. So I'm just assuming that they're using the same receipts and stuff that the servers would use out front, and they just haven't set something different. But I mean, okay, so for takeout stuff, I understand if there's a hostess or host who is putting your order together, getting your silverware, getting your dips, whatever, putting it together, like, okay, there's some service that was provided, or you're taking them away from the host stand for a little bit while they go.
McDonald's is doing the same thing. Nobody even thinks about tipping them.
Yeah. I mean, at the drive-thru, yeah. Yeah. I mean, if it's if it's like, pick up your, like, you call in a to-go order, and they say, check with the bartender or whatever to get it.
Oh. He's got that, y'all. That's a tug on that line. Here we go. Another one for me. Nothing for Daniel. Boy, he's still going.
Man alive.
I wish you'd catch one of these. You want to reel this one in, Daniel? I want to hand you this rod.
Nope. Although I am ambidextrous enough to be able to use your reel.
Well, I'm not. I had to switch one of my reel handles over for Daniel. I can't. There was something else that come right there in front of your rod. They know who they want to reel them in. We may have to put you on the other side of me over here, though, Daniel. If they are coming out of the back of this creek, and they're getting to mine first.
Makes it past your rig and sees mine.
No, I've got them locked in on me. That won't happen.
Look at that V on the top of the water.
It's like a dang shark wake. He feels good too. Oh, it is. It's another good one. It's another good one.
Lima bean or no?
Nope, this was the worm. May need to put you a lima bean on there.
I'm about to reel these things in, thinking that both of them got stuck on top of a tree or something.
Well, it probably is about time for you to reel them in, because it's been almost an hour. You might as well. God knows you ain't gonna catch a fish right now anyway. You can lead the horse to water. You can't make it drink. I can put Daniel in a pile of fish and still can't get him to catch one.
On this one, I'm wondering about that corn. This is the first time I'd ever hooked up a hair rig and stuff. I wonder, if it's actually still there.
Yeah, Daniel rigged his own hair rig over there today. Folks, we're learning him stuff here today. We're educating him. Come here, Carp. This is another good one, man. This is another one that would have been a PB for Daniel, but he didn't catch it. Come here, spin back around this way. Got him, folks. Golly bum, that's another fat sow right there.
Do you think they're, man, look at that fish.
I know.
Gracious.
That's awesome. And what, 2-3 feet of water out there, Daniel?
I was starting to ask, do you think that they're too spooky, or it would be too much motion and stuff to be parked right out there with rods suspended or stuck right up from you?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, the carp fishermen overseas don't do that, but that don't necessarily mean it don't work.
I mean, the cat fishermen here didn't do it until recently.
Yeah, I don't know. I've not tried being right on top of them in such shallow water.
You putting a whole worm in there?
I put a whole worm on mine. I want to give them the full meal. I want them to leave me a tip.
They're even leaving you 7%.
Well, 7%'s more than that girl at Nama was worth. I'll tell you that.
They're doing bar tips, $1 per.
Look at that. This again, folks. The camera's crooked, but you can see this would have been Daniel's PB, but he didn't catch it.
That is an incredible.
It didn't bite his rod. It knew better. It wanted to be reeled in by a professional.
Hey, fish, go tell your friends I'm over here.
Yeah, the sad thing is that I'm pretty sure, in fact, I know, that last trip when I was getting my action, it was coming on. It was the rod I had to the right that wasn't getting bit. We should have had you on this side of me.
Well, just put yours a little bit further. I'll go like straight out and slightly right.
Well, I could do that. I could throw one over here maybe, and then you throw...
If you go there and then like slightly left, I'll do like straight out and slightly right.
Okay. Okay. Let's do that then. The things I do for you, Daniel.
I'm just...
Oh, they're out there, buddy.
I'm just going to cast straight across all 3 of your lines.
Well, I'll tell you what. Here, let me get this one out of your way and cast over there. I want you to get a PB today, Daniel.
Me too.
I want you to...
All the action.
I know. Throw one right over there where you saw him jump up. Something that ate my lima bean off that. That wasn't where he jumped up. That wasn't even close. You can tell he's a catfisherman, folks. He can't cast for diddly doo-doo.
I mean, I am. See where that one just jumped?
Yeah.
There are a bunch.
There's fish over there. They know better. They said Daniel had a banana with him, and we know that we are not going to bite a line with somebody that's got a banana in their boat. That's why I threw it back in yours.
Might have been hit. Take that and run, baby.
Something ate my lima bean. I lost it in the cast one. That could have happened too. That's one thing I've been doing here, y'all, is when I'm putting these worms on, or like today with this lima bean, I'm doing it on the hook, but I'm doing it in addition to the plastic corn on the hair rig. And the reason for that is if something eats your worm, or maybe something eats the lima bean, or I lose it in the cast, I've still got another bait on there for them to eat versus just a bare hook. And so the hope is that you'll still catch fish even if something goes wrong. All right, Daniel, I moved that one to the left. I'm going to move the next one over here. So you're running out of excuses as to why you can't catch a fish.
Could you go out and hook one onto my...
I've offered to let you have the next one that goes down here, Daniel. I've offered to hand you the rod. I mean, I'm a humanitarian. You're normally the humanitarian, doing good for others. I'm going above and beyond today. I'm almost like a real professional fishing guide or something here, offering to let other people reel in the fish that I'm catching. I guess I could be nice and hand you the pack bait too, couldn't I? Did you cast that other one out and didn't have no pack bait on it?
No, I did.
Oh, you did?
I got it. You did make the pack bait. That was nice.
Well, I did. I've went above and beyond. I had to make a trip to the Walmart, and I bought every thing of panko that they had. And I went up there with 2 cases of corn and a bunch of Jell-O, and the cash register lady, I went through I had to wait in line because there's only one cash register open in Walmart.
Who walks into Walmart anymore?
I tell you, I did, and she was like, "Are you tax exempt?" I guess she thought because I'm buying random food supplies, I'm some kitchen or something. I'm like, nope, carp bait. She's like, "What's a carp?" I'm like, "I could explain it to you, but it's just a fish." There you go. She's like, "Okay." I just couldn't. I was at my capacity for people that day. And I could tell she wasn't interested anyway. Okay. There's what Daniel's waiting on. We're going to cast this one over here to the left. There's some kind of shallow water marker thing out there that's just in the way. Okay. Here's the reason why we've set up where we are, folks. And other trips that I have fished out here, I have set up here where I'm at. There's nothing real special about this location in this creek. We could catch carp probably at the very back of it back there, all the way down through. But set up here, not for what out in front of us, but what's behind us here. The way the sun comes up, which there's some clouds there now, these trees will provide us a little shade this morning till hopefully 10:30, and keep us from just melting out here. Melting us into a puddle in the floor of our kayaks, which then will melt into a puddle of plastic that sinks because it's going to be that miserable hot. So that's the reason why we've set up where we have. Oh, that rod was getting hit over, Daniel, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, that's been happening all day.
Well, maybe you ought to catch one time. All right, you're where my middle rod used to be. So there's no reason for you not to catch fish now. Like you need to be catching them now, Daniel. I mean it.
Well, let's do it.
I'm tired of sitting here catching all these fish. It's embarrassing. See, normally Daniel likes to say on my edited videos that I just edit out all his fish. But today, with us going unedited, when he sits out here and gets beat about 20 fish to nothing, then it's going to be pretty obvious that he's been telling lies all these times, and that I do outfish him every single trip.
Maybe not every trip.
I think every trip. That's how my memory works. I don't ever recall losing.
I just remember the one.
Nope. Don't recall.
That was a crazy weird day.
The day I was sitting right beside you, same bait, same rig, and you caught all the fish.
Like 21-1 or something.
It's kind of like out here today where we've got the same exact rig side by side, and I'm catching all the fish.
That was just fish after fish.
It's weird. Yeah. It's weird how that works. At least today we can justify it saying they're maybe coming from the left out. But that day, there was no excuse. Just one of them days. I don't remember what we was talking about before. I was going somewhere with it.
Tipping? Were we off tipping?
Can't remember if we finished tipping or not.
Oh yeah, tipping at a takeout.
Tipping at a takeout, yes. I vote no. If you're not going to tip McDonald's and the drive-thru at the hibachi place is doing the same thing, then... And in fact, they've got it easier because they're putting all the food into one container versus a fry container, wrapping a burger, napkins, ketchup, drink, all that. I mean, I think it's overdone.
I don't feel any, there we go. That line's tight.
Is it going to happen for you, Daniel? Is it going to happen? I think something's just after your worm. You're bouncing around there in the kayak. You done pulled slack in them lines. I'm power poled down in my kayak, folks. Daniel's tied off to me, and so his kayak's going to move around as he moves side to side and forward to back.
I don't feel, at drive-thru, I don't feel like, if I don't tip at a drive-thru, I don't feel like somebody did service that I am not compensating them for. But back to the question of like, okay, if you, I think that's just me moving now. Both of them went tight. Like, if you put $1 or $2 on there, at the end of the day, when that person that cashes out, are they gonna be glad to have a couple extra bucks?
Probably not. Probably ain't gonna be grateful for $1 or $2. Hell, the homeless people that you give money to barely even thank you. There was another carp that come up right out there in front of your lines. They come up, flip you a bird, and they're like, we ain't biting that.
We know you're new, so you haven't spent time enough for us to teach you. You got to spend about 80 more hours out here before we're willing to think about it.
What about, oh, look at this, Daniel. Look at this. It's happening again. Take this rod, Daniel. Take this. Take it. Take it. Reel it in. Daniel.
Heck no.
I'm trying to give you a PB here.
catch a PB for sure.
This is embarrassing. This may be a catfish anyway. Maybe it's a cat. If it's a carp though, and it's another one that would have been a PB, I'm gonna laugh my hind end off. We literally moved everything over to the left for you.
I mean, if we're thinking that theory is that they're moving from over there, then as long as you are to the left, it doesn't really matter how far over we move. I'm still behind.
Maybe I won't cast this rod out for a little while.
Nah.
I'll delay myself throwing it back out.
Keep out of my line, will you?
Oh, I think your right one jumped there a second.
You're gonna let him finish off both of my lines?
He went over one. No, he went under both. We got lucky that time. I do need to turn though. This one ain't quite as big, I don't think. Bar got set high this morning. He's big enough. Come here, carp. Let's go around that one there. There we go. Now that'll make it easier. I mean, Danny, if you ain't gonna reel them in, you ought to at least net them for me. At least be part of this. Boy, he's bigger than I thought now that he got closer. They always look smaller than they are in the water. This one is smaller than the others we got, but still, he's not a bad fish.
Man, can't believe that's a small carp.
Yeah, this is the smallest carp of the day right here. That was another one on the Lima bean.
Catch any that are like 6 inches?
No,
inches?
I wish I would, because I'd use them as bait, catfish bait, but I never catch them that small. Don't know how to catch them that small. I've had people comment and they're like, we use a small hook and worms. I'm like, I'm using a number 6 size hook and we got worms on. I still can't catch any small ones. I've never caught a red horse sucker on rod and reel. I only got them in the cast net. Like, it's something, it's hard to catch a small carp. I don't know if they just grow incredibly fast or what. I'm gonna just stick that out there front camera mount. But yeah, y'all, there's another one. I've lost count of how many we've got now. Oh, look at here. Daniel's gonna get him one. We got my rod out of the way and it's happening for him. Here comes a PB. Here comes a PB, folks.
Heck yeah. Man, that run is
It's awesome,
good
ain't it?
night.
That's awesome.
Good gravy. Good thing it's on your reel, because I don't think mine has enough line on it.
Yeah, that's why I went to the 4,000 size reels when they make them runs. I'll go ahead and plug. So Daniel, owner of Catfish Sumo, is reeling this fish in on his very first rod that you made with your company, the original chopstick, which is a catfish rod, but as I've mentioned so many times before on my carp videos, I think it's really perfect for what we're doing with this pack bait because of the softer tip. You can lob that pack bait out there and it don't fling it off like a stiffer action
Good gravy
rod would do, and it's got plenty enough backbone for these fish that we're catching. But that soft tip, every time that carp surges like it just did then, that soft tip helps absorb some of that and keep you from ripping that hook out of their soft mouths. So I think that's very important. I'm an amateur carp fisherman, obviously. Plenty of experts in my comment boxes. I find out all the time every time I post one of these videos. But to me, having used stiffer rods in the past, I think that softer tip plays a huge role in not only hooking these fish and being able to cast the pack bait, but being able to sustain the fight too as they make these surges.
I mean, they've doubled up right here.
You might. I saw your other line jump. It's amazing. I take my line out of the water and suddenly Daniel gets bit.
I mean,
they got to be coming from the left.
I don't know how to judge size, but this is a
maybe it should be a PB.
I mean, it definitely is going to be. If it ends up being a carp, I haven't seen it yet.
I think it's carp.
Those run.
Catfish wouldn't still be running at this point. Pound for pound, these carp fight harder than catfish. Ain't it awesome though? We come back here in this creek, Daniel. We got the whole place to ourselves. Super shallow water on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, folks. We got bass boats galore, houseboats.
It would be packed.
We would be rocking out there. And this place we got to. They can't even. Most of these boats can't even get back here. It's so shallow. And we've got the place to ourselves on a weekend, catching big fish and skinny water. It's awesome. And doing it on grocery store bait, stuff you can go buy. You don't have to go out and catch. Easy, cheap to rig up. I still ain't got to look at him.
I haven't even seen him. It's gonna be a catfish. Oh,
no, it's carp. That's carp.
Not as big as yours.
Well, I mean, we all can't catch big ones like I do, Daniel. It's okay to hold another fisherman's jock strap, as they say. Oh, now we're going to watch you fumble him getting him in the net. I swear their eyesight must be incredible, because every time they see a net, like they're bolting for. I mean, yours is just going to just swim right in.
That's how
easy. That's how a professional does it, right there, folks. I struggle for 10 minutes trying to net a fish, and Daniel just does it in one swoop.
Hot dog.
Nice. That's pretty fun, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's easy.
Yeah, easy to get the hook out. Small hooks come out pretty easily.
Guess I'll bring him in here and let him slime up a little bit.
Yeah. That's pretty good size carp right there.
All right, can you take a picture so I can send it?
Yeah. Let me play professional photographer here.
I mean, you are the guide, so.
Well, I ain't getting paid like one. I feel like I'm getting gypped today. Let's see, I'm gonna have to. Why don't you try smiling? There you go.
Now one like this.
You gonna look toward me? There you go.
The vacuum of the sea.
All right. We got about 4 pictures there.
Nice.
Nice with the PB, folks. Now let's break that one.
All right.
I think we might.
What a fun fight.
Yeah. When you see that wake going across the water, like that gets me going every time.
Oh, you know what happened?
What'd you do? What'd you lose?
That towel.
It's gone. You donated a towel to the river today.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna fish it out.
Amazing how that works. We move my rod out of the way, and the fish have no other options. They can't eat a professional's bait. Daniel got this new kayak. He's going to get it all scratched up if we don't have his hand towel.
I'll just put something else between. Actually, you know what I should do? I should just put that. That would keep your.
Yeah, that'd probably work.
Then can I switch and just bungee that?
Well, now you're gonna lose your.
Well, then I'll fix something back there. Or I'll just put down my own.
You got a fancy rod rack. You got a 24-volt motor. You got a fish finder big as a TV set at some of these people's houses that's watching this video right now. You ain't got no power poles though.
Yep.
There
are mounts for them.
Yeah, you got power pole mounts. Y'all get you some overpriced power poles. They work well for this carp fishing. Oh, folks, there was another big right over there. While Daniel's dicking around, I'm gonna try to get rebaited here. I'm gonna stick me another lima bean on. I got that corn. There it comes. Had it all wrapped up there. These pre-tied hair rigs, they got this little band that keeps your corn down there by the bend of the hook. Normally that breaks pretty quick, but That one's still functional, so we're going to use it. I'm not going to put as much pack bait on this time because we got so many fish working through, and we've put out so much already. I don't think it's really, at this point, I don't feel like I really need to. Plus, Daniel needs every edge he can get to try to catch a fish. Let's get us a lima bean. Old Del Monte. That one's all tore up. You ever ate a lima bean, Daniel?
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever had a lima bean. I don't think I ever have. If I have, I don't know it.
I definitely do not enjoy them.
Well, I can't say one way or the other. Having not had one. Chalky. That's a term you don't hear used very often. Chalky.
You must not talk about lima beans.
I can't say that I have. I was at the store there at the Walmart and getting the panko and whatnot and loading up on corn, and I'm like, I'm gonna get some different kind of vegetables. So I got the lima beans and I got some peas. I didn't bring the peas with me today. I thought I'm just gonna try one.
You've done other stuff, tomatoes. And...
I've done tomatoes from my garden before. I'll be using them soon because I've been getting some tomatoes. But it seems to be, I mean, they don't seem to be too particular. Like, they'll eat pretty much anything.
It's the vacuums.
I'm sure undoubtedly some baits work better than others, but it's like the pack bait. People tell me all these, put cherry soda in with cornflakes or oats and wheat, and I'm like, I just need something to attract them to the area. Like, if this right here, this panko is $1 a can, you start buying the shredded wheat and stuff, like, it's expensive to buy the cereal. I'm like, I'm gonna go the cheapest route I can.
Yeah.
And as long as it's working,
then like...
I can mix up a huge batch of this, 4 cans of panko, 2 cans of corn, some Jell-O. Like, that's a few bucks. And I got enough to, even if we're on a good bite, I mean, that'll get us through all morning. So I don't really see a need to be changing stuff up. But again, I'm sure some stuff maybe works a little better, but I'm content with how we're doing things today.
Yeah, it's working.
We got you a new PB, by God.
Man.
Took all morning here, but we done it. Well, we actually, what's it been? A little over an hour into it, we got you a PB.
Yeah.
And you saw me catch 3 or 4 that would have been. I'm glad you had that experience of watching me, Daniel. I'm glad you had the pleasure.
I didn't have to wait for the video.
Couldn't even get you to net them. Couldn't even get you to bring your own net.
Yeah, I was thinking leading up to this trip that I was going to bring that, and
you pretty much have to with carp. Like, there's nothing to grab onto.
yeah,
And they're not going to be still for you to get up under their belly. That one's going to catch you something right there. I'm convinced of it. That one's going to catch you something.
well, it better. Or I'm coming after you for false advertising.
Let me ask you this: so Daniel made his rod rack here for this new kayak he got, and he painted it himself, and you did a damn nice job on the paint. Did you take your kayak in, a picture of it in, to Lowe's or Home Depot or somewhere and have them mix that paint, or did you just eyeball it?
I got 2 different green colors because I was kind of planning on having it all be green and marbling them.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came back home, one of the greens was way off, and this one just matched really well. So I decided to do.
So you got
black.
lucky.
Yeah.
Okay. It looks good.
I mean, probably in the like product development phase of stuff. You know, like you walk into a Target or something and look at home goods or look at like what color sports shorts are for a certain year. Every brand is using the same 2 or 3 colors for a year, and then the next year they all switch, and they all switch to the same 2 or 3 colors. Like, it's the color of the season. So it wouldn't surprise me if there is something higher than both of those brands, the paint company and the kayak company, that's kind of dictating colors.
It makes sense. Because the paint companies and the kayak companies all get their products from China. So whatever color they're making,
This one's made in the U.S.
The kayak's made in the U.S. The plastic comes
the
from
plastic,
China.
Yeah, probably.
All the materials used to make it. That's what kills me about these people today. Oh, it needs to be made in the USA. Well, okay. Sure. It's going to be assembled in the USA, but every material, all the raw materials coming from overseas. I should show off your kayak, I guess, Daniel, because I've been talking about kayaks in recent videos. So this is the Native Titan X.
Yeah.
The 12.5.
Yep.
He's got a 24 volt motor guide, 80 pound thrust?
I think
70.
So.
70 or 80?
80 or 80.
You got the XI5.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, his is probably the 80 or 90. But he's got that up front. He's got his fancy mount here for the graph. His seat swivels, so you can fish off the front or the back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so he's got his rod rack in the back, so he's facing technically off the back of his kayak today. So if he was catfishing, he could spot lock into the current upriver and turn around and fish off the back, so you'd be facing the rods as you reel in fish, in theory.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I don't like about this kayak, Daniel, the battery. So it's great that they have integrated battery spot.
Yeah.
But it's right there in the way of your feet.
If you're going to spin around.
If you're going to spin around. And of course you're going to spin around if you're going to catfish out of this kayak.
I mean, if it wasn't there, then the only other place would be like in front of your seat or in the back. And then like what I like about it, even though you end up with this cover over it, that, you know, obviously my feet aren't on the ground, is that at least it's low. Because if you're going to put that big of a motor on there, you're going to have a heavy battery. And at least it's low in the hull.
Yeah.
For stability.
I still think I would have rather had it further back, because then it would truly be offsetting the weight of your motor.
Or make the tracks run higher up so that, hey, if I'm going to spin around, I'm probably going to be parked here. So let me slide myself way back and open up this space right here for my feet.
Yeah, that would have been good too.
You probably wouldn't want to like run down the river sitting up that far front.
Yeah.
But if you're going to park somewhere.
Yeah. Because you've got it as far up as it can go, right?
I think. I don't totally know the tracks yet because there's only 2 bolts, like one on each side. And
I mean, I guess in theory, you could probably take the back ones out and just have the other 2 locked into the track maybe. Probably. But still, it's... This setup is closer to what we need for catfishing, but it's not 100% there, I feel like. You know?
I also like... I know that like early on kayaks were trying to make places for rod storage, and then that kind of went away for a bit, and then Hobie...
I took mine out because they would take on water there, the rod tubes.
To be able to keep my junk in there, like the less that I have to do with the ramp, the less of a mind, you know, just thinking about fishing like, oh, I got to do all that stuff. I know that that's lazy thinking and stuff. But...
Well, no, I think you're spot on. The easier you can make it for people, the more likely are to use something. Oh, here we go. Here we go. He's got another run, folks.
I never loosened my drag.
Oh, amateur.
Glad they didn't pull out.
Well, there's a lot of people that needs to pull out. That's good information for some of these people watching right now. It's good advice. Pull out, people.
Look at that line just rip across.
I mean, just making a run. Daniel doesn't appreciate my dirty jokes.
I just can only do one thing at a time.
This could be your next PB.
2 PBs broken. Maybe.
We got to get you a buffalo today too.
That'd be fun.
I mean, the last 2 times I've been out here, I've got buffalo, so I think it could happen today. We skipped. It was my turn again, though. We skipped me.
I got some makeup work to do, though.
No, that ain't how it works. You miss your turn, you just miss your turn.
So both of those have come off this rod that I put way further out than these 2 that I had to the side.
Well,
I wonder if that could be something.
Maybe it is. Maybe we need to try that again. The old original creek channel, there is a defined channel out there somewhere. And so maybe if we can get into that, maybe that'll help the cause. You ain't gonna let him get in my line, are you?
No, he's underneath it.
You don't know where he's at. He's in my dang line. Oh my gosh, amateur.
You keep giving me sass, I'm gonna let him run into your other one too.
Well, you tried. Okay, he's under it. Hell, I moved that one to the left so far out of the way I can't even catch a fish on it to try to help you out. You gonna let him get in it? I see him over there. Get your fish under control, Daniel. He wanted me. This fish realized he messed up and bit the wrong line. He thought he'd come over here. Maybe I'd net him or something.
This is where we get netted, right? Over here? That's what all my friends said.
His friends told lies.
Thank you.
Yep. See, I'm a helpful net man. I'm here for the assist.
Maybe not quite as big as that first one. I felt like this one fought harder than the first one.
Well, it may have. Probably because you had your drag tightened down so tight from the start.
Could be.
That initial surge was pulling more. You lose a few fish from a tight drag, it'll learn you.
He did dodge that net.
I swear I think they can see good. Because I've had a lot of them see that net and instantly go the other way. All right, Daniel catching up now. We get my rods out of the way.
There's nowhere to hold it.
There's nothing to grab onto with the carp. At least the hooks are small and typically easy to pop right out. Those are pretty strong hooks too. They're not like a thin wire panfish hook. Like they usually don't bend. Nice. Yeah.
Fish number 2 for me, plus a catfish.
Awesome.
There he is.
That ain't a bad one. I mean, he's probably, what, I don't know, 7-8 pounds probably.
Yeah, still bigger than any other carp that I've caught.
That's just an average fish. As crazy as that sounds.
That was close.
What'd you do, about go over?
No, my phone was tucked in here.
Oh,
It bounced right there.
carp fishing was going to get expensive today if that phone went overboard.
I might have gone in. 3 feet of water. I could have found it.
Well, you might find a snapping turtle on your toes too.
Might find a catfish in a box.
You might. It's that time of year. That's probably why we had them blue cats back here, truth be told. This particular stretch of river, there's only like, I guess there's 3. There's the creek we launched in, this one, and then another one just upstream from there. So there are 3 creeks that are in this general area. But I'd say there's probably some catfish spawning activity going on in all 3. Definitely my turn again, though.
So, I do think that when I put that one out, that it fell farther. Like this one, the second it hit the water, like the line was slack. Like I think it's sitting in about a foot. It feels like it's sitting in about a foot of water. This one seemed like it fell further.
Maybe you hit that original channel.
Is it possible
maybe
that there is some more?
Well, there is a defined channel out there somewhere from where that old creek run in before they flooded this. Like it's still that defined channel still exists. I didn't have my graph on coming out here, and I just cast out there and hope for the best.
Yeah.
But it does exist out there. So maybe they're following it as they go in and out potentially. Yeah, it's some bull butter though. I moved my rods and now you're catching all the fish. But that last trip, my right rod, I remember I was fishing 3 rods and I couldn't buy a fish on my right rod for some reason. I just thought maybe everything just had been in the back and was coming out. And that could be. I mean, I don't know. To my knowledge, even over in Europe and England and Africa and places where carp are the sport fish, to my knowledge, there hasn't been any like GPS studies where they tag fish and follow them, to my knowledge. So, of course, most of them places over there in Europe and England and stuff, they're fishing what we would consider a pond.
Yeah.
Here in America, just smaller bodies of water. It would be fascinating to know how much carp move in like the Tennessee River. Yeah, big river system. Like, how far do they go in a year's time? Where do they go? That would be an interesting study.
And as shallow as they seem to be a lot.
Yeah, they're shallow a lot.
You'd be able to track them a lot easier.
I would think.
Bass, they'll lose them for 3 months because they can't find them, don't know where they're at.
Yeah.
Although, I guess some of those ones that rely on people catching them and reporting tags, if there's not many people.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't work for carp around here. It'd be bow fishermen. Bow fishermen would be reporting the tags. I'm putting on my... Yeah, that's what they do. All right, Daniel's got his line back out. He's ready to catch him another one now. On his original chopstick rod. Available catfishsumo.com. Code word kayak saves them 10%, Daniel. All day, every day. How'd you like it? I plugged you right there. You're getting your money's worth out of me, Daniel.
Got a PB and a plug.
I mean, you got it all going on today.
And brings in that. What a guy.
I know. Brought pack bait, lima beans. I didn't see that out of it. What do you people see? Do you think that his paint on there looks like a topo map, or do you see boobs? It's like them. Yeah, like when you go to the shrink, and they have them ink cards, and they're like, "What do you see in these?" And half the audience probably said boobs or something, or my toes, not contour lines.
Out of those contour lines?
Yeah, I don't see it. Maybe. It looks like you just blotched some areas and other areas not so much.
Yeah.
But it does match your kayak incredibly well.
Which helps gloss over the really terrible first time hydro dip job. Like, if the colors didn't match and it looked that bad, it would definitely look like a failed DIY project.
Well, I think it looks pretty damn good. I think you've helped the resale value if you ever decide to sell that thing. So you sold your other native.
I did.
And you've still got your new canoe.
Yeah.
So you're keeping 2 kayaks basically, one for family stuff and then this one.
Yeah, the new canoe is great because I can take my son in it. Mm-hmm. And if my brother or dad's ever in town, it has a plate for a motor. So, I always felt a little bit bad, like, hey, let's go catfishing, and I hop in my boat with a motor and I stick them with a paddle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, middle rod here got a little tug and now some line slack.
I also still have my first original sit-in.
Well, nobody wants to be in that thing.
Which I know we talked about this one time before. I still want to do a trip
back up
in that.
You think you do for nostalgia purposes, but you get out there and paddle a little ways and you ain't going to want to do it.
Even if I didn't go far, we talk about what are we doing in life and how much tech we put on these boats and then go out, and how sometimes it can take some of the fun. Like, you definitely lose some pieces of what you had before. You gain some other pieces, but
I talk about that all the time. My most fun trips are in my pedal kayak, just 2 rods, basic graft. And sometimes no graft, depending on where I'm at.
But if I went out in my paddle kayak with no chart, no motor, just a paddle on the boat, a couple rod holders, and did what I normally would do,
well,
I think I'd still catch fish.
I mean, you need to go do it. You've been talking about it. Go do it. He gave a little tap, didn't he? Something knocked slack in my line a minute ago.
And that one.
Okay, you might finally get your right rod hit. I'll be doggone. There it goes. Hey, Daniel, you've skipped my turn again.
Oh, my bad. I forgot about that.
You don't even care.
Nope.
You're being sarcastic right now. You don't care you skipped my turn.
Oh.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, he's still on, ain't he? That one right there might spool you. Daniel's got that small reel.
And it's not even full.
That's his bait rod reel. That's what we need to get you spooled today. And then see the line on top of the water on our way out and reel him in by hand.
Chase it.
That would be awesome.
You know, if there was a way to do that without, to have something, so when you first load your line, have something like floating that it would have to sit pretty flat, so that if you ever got spooled, it would float. End would be floated up.
Yeah. There's your next product at it. Oh, is that a buffalo? Yes, you got a buffalo, Daniel. That's a buff.
You're gonna help me. You're gonna have to help me identify the difference.
Yes. Oh, you'll see the difference. You'll see when you get him up here. His eyes are different. Color will be different. Yes. I was hoping that we'd have some buffalo in here today. You gonna take him on your side? Get control of your fish, Daniel. My gosh. There he goes. Yes. We got him a PB carp and now a PB buffalo. First one ever.
As far as I know, I guess it's possible as a kid I caught a buffalo and never
knew about it.
It was just carp to me. Thank you. Oh, geez.
No, I want to catch me a buffalo today too, Daniel. I want to catch a few of them. That's awesome. And he come on the far right rod. I wonder if the carp are moving out, maybe the buffalo are coming in potentially. Could this be freak? That's a good sized fish too. He's bigger than I thought he was when I first saw him. That happens all the time. That's awesome, Daniel. You'll need to get a picture of this one too. Nobody will give a damn because it's a buffalo and they're considered trash fish, but I really like them.
Can I give you a camera? Do you mind?
Yeah, I'll do it. You're gonna get my bill in the mail like them parking fees we got hit with. I done told that story, the damn $85 parking charge, because I had lunch with you. I ain't paying. Daniel wrote him a note and got out of it. He wrote him a letter. If I write a letter, there's going to be a bunch of explicatives in there. I'll use proper grammar, but there'll be some foul language, so they can send me to collections. I ain't paying it.
What a weird fish.
Wait till you handle that thing. It is going to be so slimy. They are as slimy or more slimy than a damn catfish. Oh! Yeah, he's bigger than I thought when I first saw him.
Man.
That guy I fished with in Texas, he caught a 70-pounder the other day.
Of this?
Yeah.
Oh,
70-pounder there in Texas. They grow them big down there. We got some big ones here too, but...
Weird.
Yeah. I think they're awesome.
Look at that nose.
Yeah.
The mouth is like straight down.
Eyes are solid black like coal.
Yeah.
Like a damn devil looking at you.
All right, this is probably going to end poorly.
Yeah, they've been known to flop a little bit when you try to hold them. Okay.
Look how much that mouth extends, those lips.
Yeah.
And the slime.
Okay.
Thanks.
That's awesome, folks.
Look at those lips. Look how far out they go.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Thanks for being calm during the picture, fish. You know, it wasn't as hard. Look at that slime.
It's like an alien movie.
I mean,
it's not like catfish slime sticks to you. This is just like running.
Yeah. It's like Ghostbuster slime. They don't fight as hard as carp, but I just think they're awesome. But I went down there and fished with him down there in Texas, that guide, and hoping I could come home and apply what I learned from him. But he pretty much does the same thing you do for carp. He sits on areas longer, like he camps. Like he'll go out and bait areas for days, and then camp for days. You might as well leave that net over there. Hell, you're catching all the fish. I'm getting gypped over here all of a sudden. I was catching them all. Now I can't get a bite. I'll hand that back to you. You might want to zip your zipper pocket up this time. All right, folks. He didn't give you the fist pump, but I will. We got him PB carp and a PB buffalo now. Technically, first buffalo ever. Of course, it's going to be a PB, but whatever. It's awesome nonetheless, man. Daniel, we are an hour and a half in, and we've already got this many fish.
Fun times.
And we really, folks, again, I was going to wait to start the video until we'd been set up for a little while, but it didn't take that long to get them going. My line is slack over here, Daniel. If I got a fish on here, maybe it got knocked around or something when we were moving. I'm going to go ahead and rebait it. Something ate my lima bean. Lima bean all of a sudden ain't getting it done. Oh, there was a big splash right over there where I had reeled in my bait from.
There's a view of that inside. So there is usually a box here, but I took mine out.
You took yours out?
Drop that battery in here.
Well, the other thing with that opening there is they didn't account for people that's going to go with 24-volt motors and have 24-volt batteries.
I mean, in their like sales page and stuff, they said like fits to 50 amp, 12 volts. But
nobody's going to do that though. They're going to go.
Put a motor on it. What I want is 100 amp hours, 24 volts.
Yeah.
So you can put separate batteries and then, you know, slide them in one at a time. But then thinking about going anywhere and like have to pull them out to charge at night or...
Yeah, that's the thing. Like if you're fishing only around your house, not a big deal. But like if you're gonna go travel places and you got to lug batteries into a hotel, you got to factor that in.
Yeah. So that was on my own rig.
Yeah.
You didn't even tie for me.
I didn't even tie that one for Daniel. Done that all on his own. He's got some. This is we're an hour and a half in. We've got rid of the casual viewers now, Daniel. We can tell them. So, folks, I've been pestering Daniel because I've been into carp fishing now pretty hard the last 2 or 3 years. Like I got the bug. Okay. I've been pestering Daniel. Like he's got the Catfish Sumo company. He's got access to manufacturing. It's hard to find carp gear. Quality carp gear. It's hard here in America. There's like 2 places and they gouge you on shipping price. I ain't trying to badmouth them. I'm thankful that they have some gear for us, but they gouge you. If I order some hooks and they charge me $18 in shipping for a package that's going to cost $2 or $3 to ship through snail mail, like that pisses me off. So I've been pestering Daniel, like, this is what I want, this is what I need. He's got some prototype stuff that he's working with on a rod today. And so hopefully, next few months, year or so, hopefully, we're going to have some quality carp gear available from Catfish Sumo here.
So this is me trying to find out if carp fishing is actually fun or not.
Okay, well, because if it ain't fun for him, it ain't worthwhile for him. He's made me enough stuff in the past that just ain't worked out.
I'm not gonna sell gear that doesn't help people catch fish or isn't fun.
My God, you made them flies for me. Look how many fish we caught with them things.
Man, those have been incredible at catching fish.
He's been a little disappointed with the jigs because here's what happened, folks. A couple winters ago, I was using my live scope and I was catching these catfish on jigs, and I was like, Daniel, I need me some jigs, heavier duty hooks. Like, I need them now. And he goes to all this trouble and expense and time, gets me what I need. Last winter I go out and I can't buy a damn catfish. The live scope, I couldn't find them anywhere. I was seeing them up all the time the winter before last year. I wasn't seeing them nowhere. So obviously he makes this product and I'm not able to use it, and so sales been a little lackluster compared to flies. So he's hesitant to just make whatever I want anymore. he's gotten burned. Yeah, so now I got to show him proof of concept now. So hopefully we're getting him proof of concept out here today. I do though. I mean, I've had these Amazon method feeders linked in my video description because I really like them for what we do out here. They work very well and they're so much cheaper than the traditional carp, the more expensive brand method feeders. Like I think they work just as well and they're a lot cheaper. Though there's been a lot of purchases made through my links on those. Like there's definitely a growing interest in carp fishing. That's for sure. Just seeing what people are buying through the Amazon links. But it's just, I mean, here in America, carp are considered trash fish, and so you just don't have a lot of companies. Even the gear that's sold here in America, most of it's made overseas. I mean, like made for people overseas. It's not like it's for us or by us or anything. I mean, I know all fishing gear comes from overseas these days, but you know what I mean? Like might be made overseas, but it's made for American fishermen. It's not like that with carp. So hopefully I'm going to convince Daniel here to start a new trend. But I just think carp fishing, it's one of them things, like if a person just wants to go out and have fun, everybody's got access to this kind of water somewhere. Everybody. They're all over the United States. Nobody fishes for them. A day like today where, man, if you got a kayak or canoe, you don't want to be out in the main channel today. But you can come back to a place like this and have a dang good time.
This might only be my perception. So you can tell me if I'm way off on that.
You're probably way off. I'll tell you right now before you even say it, whatever it is.
So I feel like a lot of the catfish anglers who pretty routinely are after big fish, like what you just described, just go out there, have some fun, catch some fish. I feel like that's what catfishing started as, and that's what a lot of people perceive catfishing as, is like, oh, you just go out, it's boring. I mean, we would say relaxing, but you're just going out, throwing it out. Of course you're going to catch fish, and you're just going whatever you want. Wherever you want, there's fish, and, you know, it's easy to catch. And then people kind of graduate to like, no, I'm really targeting big fish, which means you aren't going out and throwing dough balls and hot dogs at the community pond anymore. Like, that's not what you're doing. You're going out, and it's like, big bet. You're either going to catch big fish or you're not, and that's the day. And so this kind of is back to hot dogs for channel cats in the community pond again. Like, oh, if I just want to go and relax and catch some fish, and I'm not really in my head so much and not as much thinking about what exactly and specifically do I need to do, and then if I catch a 40-pound fish, I'm disappointed because I wanted a 50-pound or a 50-pound fish, whatever. Like, no, whatever fish you catch are going to be a ton of fun.
I hope I don't lose that with this.
Yeah.
Like, I hope I don't get to the point where if I don't catch a 50-pound carp, I'm disappointed on the day. I lost that a little bit with the catfish. Like, days I go out and catch small dinks. Like, I'm not as appreciative now as what I used to be.
Yeah.
I hope I don't get to that point with this. I don't catch 50-pound carp, so I guess I don't have to worry about
the day that you land a 50-pound carp might be the day it gets ruined. It's kind of like we talked before about like learning the cheat code for a video game or something like that. Like, for one day it's awesome, and then anything you do after that's like, well, I know that I could do it a different way, and how boring. You know, see this boring? It's probably like addiction behavior. Nothing will be as good as that first high,
yep.
Or like poker, like gambling addiction or something like that. Like, oh, it's never quite enough.
Yep.
Oh, I only won $2,000 this hand. I guess if gambling addicts win, maybe they don't.
That baseball player, I forget his name the other day or last month. Hell, days run together. Did you see that story on him though? He got suspended permanently, lifetime ban. He's the next Pete Rose for gambling on baseball, and he had bet on some of his own games too. And they had tracked him because he had done it online, like DraftKings or somewhere. Mm-hmm. He had only won 4% of his bets, so he threw away a whole career. So and he's a terrible gambler.
You can't say that he was throwing games.
No, I mean, it was all, and he wasn't a very good player anyway. Like, I think he spent most of the time in the minors, but still. Terrible gambler, and throw it all away for people like that though.
It's remarkable how much action we get on these rods.
Yeah, just fish messing around there, hitting the line and stuff. I truly think they're over there in that pack bait and just hit your line with their tail.
I mean, watching some of the underwater videos and stuff, like that happening, and absolutely that they're, you know, like watch the videos with boilies and stuff, like it's in and out, in and out, in and out, swim around, come back, in and out, like in their mouth, out of their mouth, tail hitting your main line, lots of stuff going on before they finally.
So you've watched some of these videos. You've done your due diligence on this.
Gotta learn a little bit.
All right. He slipped up right there, folks. He let us know he's been researching these carp. He's into it. He's going to be more into it after today. I mean, let's say you were out here by yourself today, Daniel. All the fish that we've caught combined, like we would have.
Would all be yours?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's over time is going to get more popular here in America, especially as these other sport fish species, the community runs people off. Like, I find the bass fishing community repulsive. They're better than everybody attitudes. They're elitist attitudes, like bass are the best. Daniel's got to be all politically incorrect and stuff being a business owner, but I can just... Oh, did you see that out there, Daniel? There was one right there in front of your lines. I saw him come up.
All right, so here's a discussion topic. And this will be from setting aside the business owner hat.
I'm talking to real Daniel now, not business owner Daniel.
Okay. So hypothetical or thinking about thinking from a consumer's point of view, thinking about the negative effects of brands getting involved with a sport. So think back to the beginning of bass fishing, which you have to go way further back than catfishing, kind of getting more commercial products and stuff. But is it the brands that have built so much perception that this is elite and you have to have this expensive stuff and whatever, and that all sports are eventually going to follow that path of okay, there's the first brand ever to offer products for that thing, okay, you start with that, and then an elite brand comes out and a more elite and a more expensive and whatever, until the point that there's not any of the lower tier brands, and the perception of the sport shifts because of the brands that came in to, oh, it's just an elite thing.
I don't think it's the brands. I think it's just human behavior. Everybody wants it's ego. Everybody wants to one-up the next person. So if you're out there with beginner basic gear, then the next person's got to go and get something a little better just so they can be better than you.
I guess, do you think that if we could flash forward 50 years, do you think that people, let's say carp fishermen or something that's not as popular yet, will be in the position that catfish fishermen are now looking at bass fishing? That it's all just going to slide up, and then carp fishermen are going to be looking at cat fishermen those pretentious pigs, and they out there with their live scope. And
well, look, I mean, there's a big section of the catfish community right now that I already feel are pretentious pigs. I feel connected to my YouTube community, but the overall catfish community, I just... You jumping the gun there, Daniel. You jumping the gun. Daniel's impatient, folks. He saw that fish out there surface. He saw his line move a little bit, and he's
still in kid fishing mode. That every bite is an opportunity to miss a fish. And the second you see that bite, you gotta do something about it. Otherwise, you're gonna miss it.
It's a good thing you're bringing that up, though, Daniel. It's interesting because my personal thoughts on it is that the fishing community itself prevents a lot of new people from getting involved in it. I use bass fishing as an example because now everything is so technology based. If you want to fish a bass tournament and you ain't got live scope, you're not competitive, because that's where we're at. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, the people who do live scope well, it's a skill, and they've spent a lot of time learning that skill, so they certainly deserve to win. But when the barrier to entry to get started in a sport, at least if you're new and you're okay, what do I have to do to be like this guy? And it's a $80,000 boat and $20,000 electronics and $200 rods and $20 crankbaits. It's
or maybe it needs to get wide enough and popular enough that then there would still be segmented tournaments. So think about catfishing. You have, when people started catfishing out of boats, all the bank guys are going, what the heck? I can't hop around and fish 10 miles apart during this tournament. I'm going to pick my spot, and maybe I move one time, but that's it. But then they started segmenting some of the tournaments. Like, okay, here's a bank tournament, and here's, you know, kind of like a handicap tournament in golf or something like that. Like
well, do you think tournaments are good for the sport? You know, we're opening up another can of worms, not the kind we're fishing with today, but
I mean, I think it's really complicated. I think that ultimately anything that can encourage anglers to participate, that gives them incentive and has them practicing and stuff, I think that can be good. I think when you end up with a gap between, like, okay, these are the people that tournament fish, and they're a very different tier now from, like, okay, somebody who just woke up this morning is like, oh, maybe I'll go fish that tournament. If they feel like they can't even compete, I mean, it's a game of skill. I don't know. I guess maybe to push back my own point, then nobody who wakes up this morning is like, I'm going to play in the Major League Baseball today. Like, no, you don't have the skills. You haven't spent the time. You don't have the experience. You don't, like, you can't compete at that level. Go play in the YMCA league.
I don't know if that's the best example, though, Daniel. Like, because, I mean, you're talking about professional athletes, like the elite of the elite. Anybody can become good at fishing just with time. I could go out and practice every day the rest of my life. I'm not going to be a Major League Baseball player. Like, you have to have some athletic ability. Oh!
Yes.
Oh, did he just drop it, though? He tugged on it and he dropped it. I think he felt the hook. No, Daniel, he still got it. Watch this. I told you it's my turn again.
Straight across both my legs.
Good. I hope he gets in all of them. It's past time for me to be catching some fish.
He's all the way across there.
He's coming back. I told him just to threaten you with it. Is this a carp or is this a cat? I feel like he's rolling out there. This may be a cat. I got a stick. And your line. Oh, I think it may be a carp. I think I see orange. I got my shades on, so the color is all distorted a little bit. Oh, he's in that line, ain't he?
I may be able to get right around it, though.
Okay, yeah. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Teamwork makes that dream work.
I don't know where my line is. Dragged it across.
Probably drag you. You may want to redo it. He may have dragged it a long way from your chum pile.
Trail of bait, though.
Another one on the lima bean. Since I moved that one to the left, buddy, it ain't getting touched.
Yeah, put that back out.
Okay, we got him. Folks. He ain't very long, but I mean he's a hefty one. Nice.
I mean, it's the simplicity of, like, bluegill fishing, but look at the size
Yeah.
of the fish that you got.
Yeah, it's super simple, but you get so much bigger fish.
I guess you might say that about catfishing too.
Well, true. It is. You just got to go to more effort to get bait with catfishing. That's the thing. With this, oh, Lord. You know what? He wanted front camera time's what he was wanting, folks. That was his way of saying it.
If you didn't mind dealing with turtles and bluegill and stuff, you could just grab worms and go do this.
Yeah. Yeah, if you threw out some cut bait today, like if we were trying to catfish back here, we would have so many turtles. Like it would be. We would be turtled to death back here. Oh, come here, carp. Let me get hold of you now. I just want to hold you up for a camera just for a second. Just for a second there, folks. Look at that. Nice. Smaller than some of the others I've got today, but I mean, it's still a dang good fish. He should have gotten Daniel's line real good like I told him to, but Lima bean paying off, buddy.
Man,
Del
3
Monte.
fish on the line, 3 or 4.
A few. I lost count.
Oh, I lost count.
I've been so focused on trying to put you on fish today, Daniel. It's a full-time job. Nice, folks. We'll rig up and cast back over again. Yeah, the tournament thing though, like I enjoy fishing tournaments to an extent. I've been kind of burnt out on it this year, just the scheduling being how it is and the weather, how it's been on tournament day and stuff. Like, I've not been as into it this year, but even though I enjoy it, my personal thoughts on it is that tournament fishing is bad for the fisheries. And we've proven this to be true with bass fishing with the studies they've done. Like when they're having these tournaments in summertime, it was when surface temps are over 80 degrees, 80% of the, 80% of them die within a few days. So it's hard to, when you've got tournaments going on and the goal is to catch the biggest fish possible, and you're killing a large percentage of them, like.
But I don't think you can say that all tournaments are bad because of that. I think you just need to say, I would say the response is tournament directors need to be more responsible with scheduling.
Well, you can say that, but how do you, when there's money and ego involved, Daniel, it's just, you can't rely on humans. And you don't want regulations, government regulations, so what do you do about it, you know?
No. Okay, so here's a counterexample. Trout fishermen
are,
I mean, there's stigmas about them too, but it is like you will not talk to a trout angler who is not conscientious, and I don't think, except for maybe community pond where they're meant to be harvested. You won't talk to a fly fisherman on any mountain stream around here who's not aware of taking care of the trout, keeping them in the water, checking water temperatures, not stressing them out. Like, I feel like it's a wide enough, like, common knowledge that any of the fly fishermen are gonna take care of their fish.
But you don't have fly fishing trout tournaments going on every night of the week.
Right.
There's not money and ego.
So why?
Well, if you got money and ego.
No. Why aren't there trout tournaments like that? I mean, there are some tournaments.
Well, I think it would be hard to do. If you're in the mountains, cell phone reception's pretty lousy. You can't transport the fish and keep them alive to a weigh-in. Can't do the catch, photo, release tournaments like our kayak tournaments because of the poor reception. I think it would be tough to do, just from a regulation standpoint. But I mean, bass fishermen are their own worst enemy in these tournaments. Like, they kill so many fish, big fish, throughout the year. I have to believe catfish are known to be hardier than bass. But whatever that mortality rate is, and I don't know that it's ever been studied, it's not zero. Like, you're getting some mortality. And then you throw in the fact that these pay lakes, and I know I'm opening a can of worms with that, but like, essentially what they have with their pay lakes are tournaments. Like, you put in however much money, whatever, people show up, and they have to constantly replace their fish. So they come here to the public rivers, put out their nets, take all the big fish out to go supply their gambling operation, their tournaments. So from that aspect, I mean, I think tournament fishing in general, and again, I'm not saying it should be stopped or overly regulated or anything like that. I'm just saying from a fishery perspective, I think it does more harm than good.
A question that I would like to see answered with data is, okay, to use the trout example, in the mountain streams and stuff, like, there is an amount of food that comes into the water that can support an amount of biomass.
Yes.
And in some places there are, like, if there's browns that are, I mean, they're the catfish equivalent of like flatheads, like way more aggressive, they're eating other trout. When there's browns around, they get bigger, and then they're a lot of that biomass. So there's fewer fish. In a mile stretch, there might be 1,000 fish or something like that. And they might, biggest fish is 7 inches or something like that. Then you get browns in there, and then it drops to like 400 fish, but your average is 13 inches or something. So same amount of biomass for like trout, based on how much food and how much whatever like fish biomass. That's the word, right?
Yeah, biomass.
It can be supported in that amount of water. So if this is what I want to see data for. Let's say we could wave a wand and take every catfish in a mile stretch of river or 10-mile stretch of river that's 40 pounds and over out, like overnight, boom, done. How fast would the next fish like replace those? In other words, like, I think this is not to support. We use bass tournaments as an example. Let's say they had the data to say, yeah, okay, we kill 200 fish a week that are over 10 pounds or something like that, but all that does is free up biomass, so the smaller ones can grow up and pretty much immediately replace that.
Well, I think, yes, I would like to see the data on that, but it's also per species. Like you take crappie, for instance. What's the average lifespan of a crappie? Like 3 to 4 years? Like they grow very quickly. Whereas you take something like a catfish that grows very slowly. When you take out that top tier, it takes so much longer to replace.
Or are there catfish that are 20 years old but are undersized because there's bigger fish taken, like more aggressive or something like that, that are kind of capitalizing that they're the lion, the king of that stretch of river?
Maybe. Well, I think a good example to research would probably be like Hoover Reservoir up there in Ohio, because they had just started stocking blue cats in, I always forget the year, 12 years ago, 14 years ago, something like that. And so those were managed by fisheries biologists. They put in what they felt was the correct amount in there, and now we're seeing those fish that are, some of them 40 plus inches long now, 12, 14 years later, but it's taken that long to take them from the stocking size to get here.
Yeah.
So you got some commercial operation come in and takes this 10-mile stretch of river and
then what can get reproduced naturally.
Yes.
That's the number. Like there's a graph somewhere, if you could get the right data, that looks like this.
Yeah.
That's the amount that can get supported in their growth and how many get taken out, and there's the right number that can get taken out or harvested.
Yes.
By fishermen or commercial fishermen.
Oh, middle rod. It's my turn again, Daniel. You just sit there and you just watch the show, Daniel. I got this.
Hey, what's that thing about taking turns?
I said hell with your turn. Oh, this fish, he said it's your turn, Daniel. He spit it.
I'm going to go over here and take this other one.
Jaggummit. I lost him. I bet he got my bean too.
It was on the bean again?
It was on the bean again. That Lima bean.
On the pink every time.
Yeah.
That would be something interesting.
Well, yeah, I don't know if color of this hooked bait makes a difference or not, but I've caught a fair amount on every color I've ever used, but I had bought a bunch of colors there last time I had restocked on supplies, so I've just been using them. But again, go to the commercial fishing, taking the big fish for the pay legs. Why are they doing that? Tournaments.
Yeah.
Otherwise there wouldn't be a need to take the big fish out. And again, people, you listening at home, I ain't against tournaments. I like tournaments. I fish them, but I'm just saying I think they do more harm than good.
So what could get changed about tournaments? Because, I mean, like, the competitive part, like, whether it's underground, I mean, look at banning alcohol. Look at really any ban on anything.
You can't ban anything. It'll be done. And
so what's the way to change the rules, change the game so that the fish are taken care of?
Boy, it don't matter.
Tag a bunch of fish, and then it's about catching a number of tagged fish instead of biggest.
Well, but it don't matter, Daniel, because you'll never get fishermen to agree on anything to come together. we're our own worst enemy on that kind of stuff. It's like now with the pay lakes and catfishing. Sure, everybody knows it's a problem in the catfishing world, but nobody can decide on a solution and everybody get behind that. We just can't get along with each other. Everybody hates everybody. There's so much jealousy and animosity amongst the community members themselves that you'll never have and this is just me being pessimistic here. I know you're glass half full, I'm glass half empty, but you'll never have people come together. So,
well, it's hard to. I mean, something like that is going to have to get. This is the video that we put out 5 years ago, or whatever. Like, we can all agree that this is a problem, but when emotions are high, logic gets low. Mm-hmm. The way that you're going to convince any legislator or fisheries department, wildlife department, whatever, to change anything is with data. And if you go in there hot-headed and railing and have 1,000 people go leave negative comments on there, like, you just look like crazy people.
Yeah.
Not people who can actually bring about some kind of change.
And the other side of that is going to have a bunch of supporters as well. So that's where you need to fall back on data.
Yeah.
Like be able to provide actual data, which nobody really has. And it'll be the same thing when you take bass tournaments. It's like the smart thing to do would be have less tournaments. Put less pressure on the fish. Maybe take a break during July, August when the water temp's so damn hot. But you're going to hurt somebody's business doing that, and they're going to push back, and the fishermen themselves are going to be like, we take care of our fish, and we do things different. And so to do it, you would need to take that magic wand and make sure nobody's business gets hurt and find the perfect solution. And I don't think that's doable.
I mean, businesses getting hurt is a question about... Okay. Well, I don't know how meta you want to get. There was a Supreme Court decision yesterday about tax laws. The decision...
The fact you know about this, a Supreme Court decision, tells me a lot about you, Daniel.
Supreme Court decision about tax laws where basically the question was, hey, these tax laws seem to be... I don't remember the specifics. There's some couple that had some overseas investment that was getting taxed. And they said, look, this doesn't seem to be correct. You're taxing this before we realize the gain, something, something. And the decision was, like the majority opinion was basically, look, for us to undo this or say that this is illegal or unconstitutional would undo the entire tax code. And
God forbid.
The dissenting opinion was, well, if it undoes the entire tax code, if we've made all these rules that violate the Constitution, we need to fix that. Like, okay, so that would be my same argument about businesses. Like, okay, if we hurt a business, like that sucks. Like thinking about sympathy towards a business owner who's created a business. If it was legal at the time and you created this business and then they changed the rules, like that's really frustrating. But if we've created something that's not sustainable and then we have the data to prove it, and like, okay, you just need to be flexible enough to change your business to accommodate something new.
Do those people get punished though? Is there a time period? Because here's the example I'll push back on exactly what you're saying. YouTube. So ever so often, YouTube will make some change to their terms of service, their community standard guidelines. And every time that happens, I get dinged and have videos demonetized because while I may have been following the rules 3 years ago, now society's changed and now I'm violating rules, so those videos get dinged. And it's like, why am I held to a different standard today that didn't exist 3 years ago? Why am I being punished for it?
Yeah.
It's one thing to make me change going forward, but when you punish somebody for the past, that's where you run into.
That's why, I mean, depending on what rules get changed and what the topic is and conversation stuff, like some things get grandfathered, like code violations or something, right? Mm-hmm. Like we want this to be done a certain way because it makes for a more stable house or something. Like, okay, but if you had a hold one and you did it at that time, you get grandfathered in, except for safety issues. If it's something like electrical stuff or something that like people are getting hurt from, like no, those always have to get updated. Those don't get grandfathered in. Mm. So I would think that something like, oh, if we let this business go, they would have to decide, are there, if we decide that pay lakes or whatever, some commercial fishing or something is hurting the fishery and making it unsustainable, can we let those people, what's the word where like you fall off after a time,
grandfather?
No, like, can't think of the word. Like die off over time. We say, okay, you're allowed to keep doing what you're doing, but no new ones. And then
I got you. Yeah.
As those businesses close, then we close that gap.
Yeah.
Unless they decided, no, it's too big of a problem. Even the ones that are running right now, like here's your plan. You have this many years to.
Yeah. Well, I do think there needs to be. I don't think it needs to be a light switch change, no matter what you do. Like it needs to be. Everybody needs time to adapt.
Yeah.
But.
Especially when it is something like we would all agree anything that is illegal right now needs to be stopped, and whether that's an issue with not enough rangers and whatever else, like okay, that needs to be talked about, because we can go make new rules, but if the current rules aren't getting followed, that doesn't help anything.
Yeah, you can't get any enforcement now. I mean, I've said before in these videos, you got a better chance seeing a Sasquatch, a Bigfoot out here today than we do a game warden.
Yeah, so new rules don't change anything if they're currently breaking the existing rules.
Yeah, there's nobody to enforce it.
If we're going to make new ones, then we have to consider, okay, what do we do about that?
Well, and here's where you get pushback not only from community members, but the general public, is to get more enforcement, you need to hire more people, which costs more money. How do you get that money? Well, got to pay for it out of our pocket. Are you going to raise fishing licenses? The last time we raised prices here in Tennessee, and it's been several years, it went up a couple dollars. Man, people were all over the internet, and this was before internet was as bad as it is now. Like, imagine if you had to raise fishing license $10 in Tennessee. My gosh, like.
What if the revenue that they need was connected more to the violation? Something like, drug task force get created in cities that have a high drug problem. So the way that they fund a lot of those is raising the penalties and whatever on.
Well, but you can't get blood from a tournament.
Yeah.
You catch somebody. I mean, think about this, Dan. The type of person that's keeping 50 crappie instead of the 30 that's allowed, like, you're probably not going to get them to pay that fine anyway. I would assume. Like, I don't know. It's one thing with a drug task force where they're seizing tens of thousands of dollars every drug bust. Like, in a fishing, well, them birds are fighting up there. So, side note, have you ever met a falconer before?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be damned. I didn't know such a thing existed, but Brandon Hunter, he fishes the tournaments. He is a cop in Ohio. He's a falconer. And I was asking him why bald eagles, the symbol of American freedom, are always such wusses. Like, you always see them running from a smaller bird. And he explained it that the bald eagle is doing its thing. It's just flying by. These smaller birds think the eagle's going to attack the nest, and they start just flying at the back and trying to poke them in the back of the head and stuff. And the eagle can't turn and maneuver as quick as the bird, so he just keeps going the direction he was going anyway. So he's not really running, but he's a falconer. Anyway, side note, it was a side detour off what we were talking about there. Falconers. Whole different brand of people. I derailed our whole other conversation.
I don't know how you solve bass stuff, and I guess.
Well, and the other thing about it is, it's like the bass fishing tournament directors, the catfish tournament directors, any tournament director is going to be like, what do we care if we have 10-pound bass or 100-pound catfish? Everybody that's in the tournament's on the same playing field. So who cares?
So if we get rid of all of the 10-pound plus bass, fine, they'll just be catching 8-pound bass.
They'll be catching 8 pounds and then 5 pounds, but you're still on the same playing field. It's like you're catering to the trophy fishermen.
Yeah. Then you get the community people who are like, well, I don't fish tournaments, but I'd sure love a shot at catching a 10-pound bass, and you guys are killing them all.
But they don't speak up because they don't care enough to. The casual person don't even know it's a problem. And the casual person ain't going to take time out of their day to write letters or show up to a town hall meeting. You just get the most passionate people on each side that just can't have a civil conversation, and they all look like buffoons, and nobody takes them seriously. Which is why it doesn't, again, here comes pessimistic Justin, glass half empty. Just enjoy what you got while you got it. And I know this is terrible for me to say, and I'll catch flack from the catfish community. I shouldn't even say it, but it's like, you better learn to like light tackle. Because you go out with an ultralight rod, you go bluegill. I take my gulp minnows out all the time. Don't matter what I catch, what species, how big, I have fun with it. If we get to a place in time where there's no more big bass, there's no more big crappie, there's no more big catfish, for whatever reason, tournaments, pay legs, natural disasters, whatever.
Spraying at the docks.
Yeah, you still going to be able to enjoy yourself fishing as long as you're into the light tackle stuff.
What outhouse just got dumped over here?
The wind shifted. This area has a landfill, and it just, depending on which, especially in the summertime heat, it's hot and bakes the garbage, and if the wind shifts and blows towards you, you catch all of that.
Your viewers are lucky that
it's not smell-o-vision.
We haven't invented.
I'm used to it. I guess I've fished around this area enough that like it, I don't even think about it, but yeah.
It's just a sudden onset, like something just happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rancid. I can't imagine. There's a really nice subdivision too. These $1 million houses upriver from here. And I imagine, because we got all these, I'm sure it's the same way down where you're from, Chattanooga there, but we got all these New Yorkers, Californians coming in. They just buy these properties as soon as they hit the market. Can you imagine you spend a couple $1 million riverfront property and you come in and you're sitting out on your porch enjoying a cup of coffee your first night in the house and that landfill stench hits you? Like, that'll make you think twice about your location. That landfill will eventually get moved though because of those rich people moving down. They'll eventually get it moved or shut down. We've woke a dog up over here. I feel like our bite's slowed a little bit, Daniel.
That sun's moving across the water. It's finally catching to us. Is that changing?
I don't know. I'm gonna reel in my other one here. I ain't changed out this bait in a long time. I'm gonna cast it a little bit more to the right. I still had some pack bait on that feeder. My worm's gone though. I'm gonna just try to freshen things up.
On these.
Yeah, we had a good thing going when I had my rods out there. I don't know why they don't like yours.
Put yours back out there. I'm pretty much just as happy seeing. I mean, I'd like to get fish too, but I'm pretty much just as happy seeing.
Well, I was really wanting you to catch some big carp today and some big buffalo, and I got my best buffalo ever came out of right here. Matter of fact, a couple years ago.
That buffalo's weird.
Yeah.
It's a crazy looking creature.
I bet you.
Pictures of yours, like you hold them up and stuff, and I didn't really notice much difference, but seeing it in your hands.
Yeah. I bet you we've got some huge buffalo in here. Just nobody targets them, and I sure as hell don't know how to target them. I'm not ever going to be the type of carp fisherman like the guy that I fish with down there in Texas. You know, when he sets up on a spot, he's there for a week. Like, he's going to camp. Every fish that comes through. And he's going to keep baiting an area nonstop every few hours. And it's like, well, and of course, you're a camper. But it's just not me. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm not going to sleep out in the woods and all that. Like, I'm going to fish for about 4 or 5 hours most days, and I'm calling it a day. And they're either there or they ain't. We're definitely going through a little lull here now, it seems like, though.
Like, those guys quit gabbing about bass.
They're like, you come out here carp fishing, you gonna talk about bass? Hell, we ain't gonna bite. Yeah, I'm torn on that, Dan. I mean, on one hand, it's like, I want carp fishing you take my YouTube community here. I don't really give a damn about the overall catfish community at this point. Like, I feel like I've always been kind of an outsider, I feel like, from the overall catfish community. But like my YouTube community, like, I want them to experience the fun of this. So I want more people to get into it. But then there's the other part of me that's like, you know, it's nice. Yeah. It's nice to be able to come out here. And I knew today, when we set plans to come out here, like, we were going to come out here and have this to ourselves. And if it was widespread popular, could we come out here and have this creek to ourselves? Or will there be 10 more people around? Like when you go catfishing now, there's a lot of days I go out planning to go one place, and I get there and there's a boat set up. And I got to go plan B or plan C. And so from that aspect, it's nice the fact that carp isn't really popular. So I'm always torn back and forth on that. It would be nice to have gear and stuff readily available, and I don't know. I just go back and forth. And I see, you know, and here's the other thing. I'm about to get a bite right here. Here it goes. The lima bean rod. He pulled on it a little bit there. I think he spit it though. No, he's got it. By God, he's got it. Oh, I'm gonna get you in the chest here. We're gonna yank this in his jaw.
They don't have jaws.
They got something, and I'm about to pull it. Watch this. 1, 2, 3. Got him. Here we go. Here we go. We were due, by gosh. We were due for one. I hope it's a buffalo. It's my turn for a buffalo, Daniel. I don't think it's going to be, though. I think it's going to be a carp. He's pulling, though, man. He's mad at it. Lima bean, Daniel. That's what you're missing, is the lima bean. Oh, my gosh. Would you believe he come off again? I just lost another one. The sun is hitting that area of the water now, though. I don't know if that's going to play a role or not. Well, I lost that fish and my lima bean's gone. My hook's fine. I don't know what... That's 2, though. You've done something to sabotage. Probably that damn banana you had in here.
You need to get one of your antidotes.
Old banana slicer. Well, that's bad luck right there, folks. We got some Judy on us all of a sudden. I don't know what caused that. Well, it wasn't my drag being too tight. I mean, we fought him for a good while. Maybe he just wasn't hooked good from the start. Maybe he was kind of just flesh hooked on the side of the mouth or something.
A little bit of lip.
Just a little bit of lip. I'm going to put another bean on there, and you watch this, Daniel. I'm going to get me another in here in a few minutes. I'm going to get a redemption, shot at redemption here. A lima bean. Still don't think I've ever eaten a lima bean, but...
You can pop one of those in your mouth.
You think I ought to eat one of these lima beans?
Yep.
I'm curious.
I like it, especially after we have a can.
Do you have to cook them? Or can you eat them straight out of a can?
I think those probably are cooked.
You think these are cooked? With natural sea salt. Lima beans, water, sea salt, calcium chloride. They're picked at the peak of flavor, then packed to lock in their rich, tender taste with no artificial flavors or preservatives. You get unsurpassed Del Monte flavor guarantee. Boy, Del Monte's got some advertisement out of me today.
If I've ever seen gaslighting, it's that description on a can of lima beans.
I'm eating a bean. That's awful. Oh, that's the worst thing I've ever tasted. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. That's disgusting. I should have ate the worm.
I should have told you you need to eat a handful of them.
Oh my God. Why did I do that? Gosh.
I wonder if there's people who honestly would say, no, I really like lima beans. I don't know anybody that likes lima beans.
No, they can't be. Well, I don't know. I said a couple years ago, I mentioned on a video, I went on this rambling take about sun chips. And there were people in my comments that liked sun chips, even though they taste like, you like sun chips?
Sun chips, yeah.
They taste like sawdust, flavored sawdust.
What are you talking about?
Sun chips.
I have my own version of that. I griped one time that I accidentally...
Oh, had one hit the left rod, didn't we? Worm rod.
I meant to get a box of Wheat Thins and bright yellow box, this much shelf space. And
why the hell were you buying Wheat Thins?
I accidentally got... What are the ones that are like shredded wheat?
I don't know. I don't eat that crap. I'm not 80 years old.
Ah, shoot.
Wheat Thins.
Wheat Thins, like a little square cracker.
Yeah, they're awful.
They're delicious, especially the...
You get them out of your grandma's pantry.
Man. And I accidentally got whatever the other ones were that I can't remember. And I was expecting everybody to be on my side. Like, oh yeah, those things are terrible. I can't believe that. And it was the opposite. Everybody was telling me the Wheat Thins are terrible and those other things, whatever they're called, are better.
The Wheat Thins are terrible.
Nah.
And so are sun chips. And now add lima beans.
All right, we can agree on lima beans. You're wrong about sun chips and you're wrong about Wheat Thins.
No, I've never been wrong in my life. Add Hooters wings to that list too, because they don't cook them. That was awful. And the green stuff when you get sushi.
Oh yeah, wasabi.
I accidentally got some of that on a piece of sushi one time. Thought I was going to die.
Dude, that's what makes sushi.
It ruined me for months from eating.
Although it's not actually real wasabi, I think. I think it's just ground up horseradish, green dye.
It's vomit.
It's delicious.
It's ground up puree vomit is what it is. I
think this is an improper thing to do, but mixing, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to mix that with soy sauce. But when you do, dip your sushi roll in that, yum.
Oh my God, you're so weird. What the hell's wrong with you? You're the weirdest person I know. Well, I can say I've eaten. I know I'd never eaten a lima bean before now.
Have you eaten a lima bean or have you tasted a lima bean?
Well, I didn't swallow, so
you haven't eaten a lima bean.
Well, I'd be over here in the woods, crapping my britches probably, if I'd ate that thing. It's disgusting. That's why they come in the small cans. Ain't nobody gonna eat a big can of lima beans.
They're just used as filler in other salad and stuff. Vegetables. You've had lima beans before, surely, and I
don't think I have.
Microwave packs of chopped up carrots and peas and beans and.
Well, I don't eat that stuff.
They usually throw
what would I put that on?
A fork.
I eat steak. I eat steak every day, Daniel.
Where do you get your vitamins?
I take a multivitamin twice a day.
There you go.
There you go. I took that Gary Brecka DNA test several months back, and I was told I need to take vitamins. So I take vitamins now, twice a day.
Now the government has your DNA. You better not commit a murder anymore.
And that's what I talked about when I was talking about on these unedited videos about doing that DNA. That's always my biggest fear, that one, I'm going to have some bastard child out there I didn't know about, and I'm going to get hit with 17 years of child support all in one lump sum. That, or I'm going to get framed for a crime because they've got my DNA. Yep, that was my fear of doing it. But I did it, and I got ripped off. Whether you got DNA problems or not, they're going to tell you to take a multivitamin.
I had to get my youngest son a lead test the other day.
A lead test? You got lead pipes?
We had this, I don't even know where it came from.
He's eating paint chips.
Toy that it's like a tiny iPad, like for a dollhouse or something probably. Don't even know where it came from. But he really loves tiny versions of things and carries them around, and it'll be like his object for the day or a couple days, and he always has to have it with him. and he'd been chewing on this one, and we like started to wonder, like, hey, where did this thing come from? Do you remember where it came from? What was it? Where's it from? How old was this thing? And rubbed it with a lead swab, and turns bright red.
What's a lead swab?
Lead swab, because we have lead in the office, you know, so we test stuff, and our people get tested for lead just to make sure we're not exposing anybody to stuff they shouldn't be.
You test your employees for lead?
I get in the option to, and a couple of them do.
I'll be damned. Like, you're really OSHA certified and all, aren't you?
If there's something that I'm doing,
you're running a real business down there.
To keep people safer, I will do it.
It's a stand-up operation he's got, y'all.
So he'd been chewing on this thing for like about 3 days straight, rubbed the swab on there and realized it's got lead on the inside. Not on the paint, but he chewed some of the paint off, and on the inside, whatever metal it was, had some lead in it, apparently.
So you've been letting your kid eat lead toys for
so
days.
Talk about feeling like a crap parent.
Well,
but
at least you acknowledge it.
Got him tested, and no concerns, thankfully.
Okay. Still don't know where you got that toy yet, though.
I think...
I didn't think you could sell lead toys anymore.
I'm wondering... my other son got this thing for, like, set for Christmas a while. It was, like, tiny phone, and I'm thinking that's where it was. Probably tiny iPad, tiny things for his, like, a little stuffed bear that he's had since he's a day old. It's like his comfort object. And I think that it had to have been in that set. Which means we need to find the other ones. But then I'm wondering, like, where did we get that thing? Was it marked?
They probably came from China. That's probably where it came from.
Did. Maybe it's not meant to be a toy. Maybe it's a decoration. Didn't have to be labeled and stuff. I don't know.
Did you see my line here? When did it go slack?
It popped a minute ago, just like a burst, and then...
I just noticed it was slack. I'm going to reel this other one that got hit. I'm going to reel it in and see if my worm's still on here. I brought 2 tubs of worms and can't get them eat today. They're after them dang lima beans. No, it's still... The worm's still on there. I'll put some more pack bait on since we got it here. Oh, I know where I was going with that initial thing before that fish interrupted us now. With the carp fishing. I feel like carp fishing now is kind of where I was at with kayak catfishing 7-8 years ago. Where anybody who carp fishes now in the United States, you're kind of looked down upon. Like you're second-class citizen, you're fishing for trash fish and whatnot.
This one's gone.
Oh!
He's on there.
You think he's got it?
Yeah.
Well, by gosh.
But he just popped. Was on.
You tease me. You think he stole my lima bean?
I don't know.
I'll leave it a second. He just wanted that bean. He didn't want reeled in. But, 7-8 years ago, I was an outcast. People made fun of me. You're going to flip that kayak. What are you going to do if you hook a big fish? And it just didn't really fit in with the catfish community. And I see that now with carp fishing, too. It's like, in America, somebody sees you carp fishing, and you're like, what are you doing that for? A trash fish. And then the established carp fishermen that watch my channel, they're like, you don't know what the hell you're doing. Like, they've got all these fancy rigs and methods and all that they do, and so it's kind of, you're the outcast. And me, just my nature, I can only be an outcast for so long before I'm like, to all of you. And so I can see myself getting that way with the carp community too. By the time carp fishing catches on and gets cool, I'm going to be so jaded toward that community. I'm going to be the same way that I am with the catfish community. Because now you catch catfish out of kayak, now you're cool. It's cool now that it's caught on. But I just how I am, Daniel. That's me, glass half empty, your glass half full. My glasses shade things. Your glasses make everything rose colored.
I think the people who are catching catfish out of a kayak, if they know, like, you've had massive influence on that coming to be.
Maybe to some extent.
And most of those people probably do know, like, you know, we've talked to people at tournaments and all kinds of stuff that, you know, you inspired them to get their first kayak and stuff like that. You inspired me to get my first kayak.
I've cost you a lot of money. More ways than one.
But it's the people outside, like that next outer ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, middle rod.
Here he goes.
Lima bean. Here we go. This one's staying hooked up, y'all. I promise it is. Third time's a charm. We are not losing this fish. If we lose this fish, y'all suck at fishing. It ain't me. It's felt weird so far. I don't know if it's head shakes. Well, I mean, I felt like...
He's moving around too much to be a turtle.
Well, it ain't a turtle. But I thought it may be head shakes, or it could have been rolling possibly. He's got over there that marker. It's some kind of... Somebody's put that marker out there because it's like shallow water. Something sticking up out there. He's all up in it too, buddy. He is all up in it. Can I get him? Okay, we're good. It's like, is that going to be how we lose this fish on that dang pipe sticking up? Well, he swam over my other line but didn't get in it. It felt like head shakes though, but I guess it is a carp. I don't think it'd be a buffalo acting like that. Yeah, it is. It's a carp. Where you been, carp? I've been wanting to catch you for a while, carp. It made me look bad biting Daniel so much today. He was supposed to get 1 or 2 fish, not as many as he had.
No, I'm thinking I'm about due for that.
Well, I guess you can catch another one now that I've got this one. I'll allow it. This one's going to be smaller than some of the others that I've gotten. This one probably ain't going to, I'm going to break his heart, but he's not going to get front camera time, I don't think. I will at least hold you in the light fish since the sun is beating down on the back of my neck currently. We're reaching that point in the morning where we're losing our shade. Oh, easy. What did he just throw off? Must have been part of my pack bait. Thought he'd thrown the plastic corn off there for a second. Got it?
Just straight vacuums. It's so crazy.
Yeah. Well, they fight so hard. Even a fish this size, I mean, just super strong in this shallow water. There you go, folks. In all his glory.
Yeah, scales look really cool.
I think they're a cool looking fish. I used to frown upon them like everybody else, just culturally. But once I gave them a shot, I got into it. I'd so much rather be doing this than catfishing today on a weekend. You know, it's just, there's only so much boat wake you can get hit with where it stops being fun, at least for me. We had the boat ramp to ourselves there first thing, but I promise you, when we go back, it'll be packed with all the pontooners and ski boats and wake boats and house boats and everything else. Well, I'm putting the lima bean on there. Boy, carp have very poor taste. Now that I know what they're eating, like, boy, you could put a turd on it. That one broke. You could put a turd on a hook and catch a carp, probably, after seeing what they're eating with these lima beans. Like, I almost feel bad throwing them out there. But they working.
Is it a waste if I rebait these?
No, go ahead. Got plenty. We're probably going to have some left over today. You can have lima beans too if you want.
Oh, I guess I never checked that one after I got thrown around.
Well, maybe that's why you ain't catching nothing.
Worm's gone, pack bait's gone.
You ain't got no bait out there. Hell far. You trying to catch them on a bare hook, amateur.
I'm just thinking that you said earlier, oh no, I'll let it sit for an hour.
Well, I usually do.
I probably should pay attention, like, as much nibbling, bumping around, whatever, when that stops.
Yeah, your bait's probably gone at that point. As many fish has been out there today, it's probably not taking too long to get our bait eaten. This creek, though, I mean, I've fished 2 other times out here recently, and it's been very active all 3 trips now. I mean, as far as numbers of fish goes and good quality. And that first time I'd fished it here this year is when I got all them. I mean, there was just so many buffalo. I caught buffalo all morning, and then I ran out of worms, and then I started catching the carp. So that's why I was thinking maybe it had something to do with the worms. But then my last trip out, I was catching the carp on the worms. And so I just thought maybe there was more buffalo in here that particular day. Now, why that day versus any other, I don't know. And you see carp, well, I mean, like today, we've got carp and then we got your buffalo there earlier. But, like, are they together oftentimes, or do they kind of do their own thing?
Are they eating the same stuff, staying at the same depths?
Yeah, like, you know, I don't know. Hell of a cast there, Daniel. I think you spooked something when it hit. Did you see that line go across the water there to the left? I think you spooked one out there.
No worm, no bait.
That'll do it. Well, nice of you to give me the advantage so I could get another one. It's the least you could do for me, Daniel.
You know they would have hit mine first.
I know.
They probably were talking about, I don't know, should we just take it anyway?
Yeah, yeah. They decided to show me mercy instead.
I mean, with the fake corn on there, it's still possible if there was pack bait scattered around that they would have set it up.
They've probably done got all that pack bait too. As long as it'd been since you had rebaited. I have wondered too, like, today it's not an issue because we don't have any flow or we don't have any wind. But when you're fishing, like some of the creeks I've fished that does have some flow in them, how often a person should rebait? Like, what's the protocol on that? And I've wondered too, as far as like out here today, the water's, it's got some visibility to it. But I fished some chocolate milk water too, and I caught carp, and it's like, does the water clarity affect a bite one way or the other? Do they look for cleaner water? Do they look for dirty? Like, I don't know. I'm so ignorant. Like, I feel like I could take a contour map, any body of water, take a look around and have a reasonable expectation of catching catfish. Any day of the week, any body of water. But with carp, man, I know just from experience now around here locally where I live, where some are at what time of year.
Can I cross your line there?
I don't think so. But like when I went up to Hoover Reservoir there recently and tried carp, because they allegedly got some big carp and buffalo up there too, I got completely skunked. Fishing an area that looks just like this. Could not buy a fish, didn't see a carp.
When we carp fish, you caught one carp at Sandusky, right?
Yeah,
time?
Sure did. Yep. I fished Sandusky for a day on my Ohio trip recently, but I didn't try carp fishing there. I waited till I went to Hoover to do that.
All right, fish, there's the bait.
Yeah, we got it out there now. Everything's freshened up. No excuses, fish. Other than the fact they're just hot. You know, and it don't seem to affect, like the carp in the middle of summer, like hot as blazes. I mean,
you still see them finning.
You still, yeah.
Water.
And that, I mean, the shallows today, I mean, this is going to heat up. It'll probably be 90-degree surface temps out here by the end of the day, I bet you, in the shallow water.
You know, we got this little pond where, a little like community pond. It used to be catch and release only. We used to catch some nice channel cats in there. And then there was a beef with the city and TWRA and stuff, and that conflict over whose it is and who gets to regulate. So now you can keep fish out of there. Now there's no big catfish, but I see carp finning in there a good bit.
Well, you ought to try it out.
Take my son over there. And
I bet your son, he'd catch a fish as big as him. He'd have a good time with it. He's still young enough and small enough that he could catch a fish as big as him. Yeah, I've never tried carp fishing in a pond, but I imagine fishing in England or somewhere is all their lakes, I mean, they're pond size. But those fish seem to do well. I mean, you see the videos and they'll have pictures of the fish on the wall. They got them named. Like when people catch them and stuff, they weigh them and take new pictures and all that.
could we convert all of the trophy catfish pay lakes to trophy carp pay lakes?
Good luck.
And let them go harvest all the carp? And I mean, it wouldn't change anything about the fishing that they're doing.
Well, I think they have some carp pay lakes. I've seen people comment on my videos talking about it. But then you're going to have people out here running the nets for the carp, which nobody would care, I guess, except me. But yet, yeah. Oh, he tugged on it, on the worm. There he goes too. You see him? You see him heading to the left? Like he felt that resistance. And
that's the right.
Well, the right, yeah. The other left. I'm still bass backwards because I had to change your reel handle over there earlier.
Your brain's still working that way.
It ain't working that right. He felt that resistance or that hook and gone, buddy. He's headed toward your lines now. I guess them carp though, I mean the catfish they put in them pay ponds die very quickly. But I guess the carp, they can do better in that environment. Like you can sustain them.
Like they're living in water like that already.
Yeah.
The catfish, they're getting pulled from 60 foot deep cooler water and put in 5-6 feet of
with 100 other fish at the same time. But you're not going to have 100-pound carp, and they can promote these 100-pound catfish that they're dropping in, at least for now, while there's still some to be caught. I don't know what the answer is. I ain't going to figure it out myself, though, and I don't have any confidence that the people who try to figure it out are going to do it. It sure was a hot topic for like a week, though. Trended like everything else. I've been trying for years, though, on all my videos to promote catch and release. You know, I've talked about it since the start of my channel, the importance of letting the big fish go. And I think we're making a mark on the new people who are coming up into the sport. I think it's a lot more catch and release oriented versus catch and keep everything like it used to be in the catfishing community. But you know, when you've got commercial people coming in and running their nets, it really don't matter what the general public does. They're going to inflict so much more damage.
But maybe new people coming in, getting that impression from the start, they're like, oh, this is what we're supposed to do. Them just learning, like, that's the way you do it.
Yeah.
You're not having to change anybody's opinion. That's just their opinion from the start.
Right, yeah. Yeah, because you ain't going to change nobody's opinion. Like, once their opinion's made, it's hard to change anybody's mind. It is interesting to think about 10 years from now. Like, what's the future of fishing look like? I mean, I think of where we're at now, just with technology alone. Like, how much more advanced is the sonar going to be 10 years from now?
I mean, I kind of, I don't know if this is true or not, but I kind of imagine it turning back into a bit more technique. That, like, okay, well, if everybody can look at this water and say, like, okay, there's a big fish over there, I can see it. If everybody can do that, then it's going to turn into more like, but can I actually get it to bite something? I guess you do lose the bit of skill that's without the technology. Like, okay, I see this water, where would the fish be?
Yeah. Well, fish, I think, will adapt. I mean, they're already adapting to the sonar. You hear the bass guys talking about it.
In what way? Like
the forward-facing sonar, live scope, like they'll keep their distance away, or they'll spook easier when you shine the scope on them, whereas they didn't before. I'm hearing that more and more. As well, I mean, as these fish have more bad, they feel that ping, and then they have a bad experience. You know, they learn over the course of time. But I don't know how long it takes, and it's just interesting to see where it's at now, like where it could potentially go. And that's if we even make it another 10 years, Daniel. How old are you now? You're 40?
37.
37? God, you're young. Pisses me off. Get so much youth.
Somebody on one of my videos the other day called me a 19-year-old.
A 19-year-old?
Well, me for being a young blankety-blank 19-year-old know-it-all.
Hell, I think was he trying to insult you? If somebody called me a 19-year-old, I'd feel complimented. Be like, thank you.
Two comments from the same person. I think he said 14 in one and 19 in one.
Was that the same guy that only said you ever caught fish because you was fishing off the bow of my kayak? Do you think, okay, here's a question for you, society-wise, Daniel. Just since I started YouTube, the comment box, for instance, and all of social media, like just random social media posts of people commenting, it's clearly deteriorated. Like, it's getting nastier and nastier all the time. Where do you think that ultimately ends at? We've been going downhill with it for a while. Like, do you think there is a pendulum moment where it swings back the other way, or do you think it just continues to slide?
I don't think it swings until people feel like, just guessing, when you first were able to comment and say stuff online, you brought with you the what you should and shouldn't do societal rules of in-person interactions.
Mm-hmm.
And then pretty soon you realize, oh, there's no consequences for what I say. I can say whatever I want, and nobody, somebody might say, hey, you're rude, and if I don't care, then I just don't care, and I keep on doing it. There's no consequences for that getting worse.
Look at your middle rod right there, Daniel. You had something hit it.
So and it's still moving to the right.
Knocked a little slack in it there. I mean, you may be about to get a bite.
Unless those people start actually feeling some consequence, I don't think that ever turns around.
Do you think it'll get worse? Mine's gotten nastier for sure.
I mean, there probably are people who still feel like that's not something you should do, who will realize they can do it without consequences. So yeah, there probably are more people to join the party.
I mean, we've seen it with like the woke culture. Everybody trying to cancel everybody. Now that's kind of swinging back the other way. People sick of it. My left, Ron? I didn't see it. But everybody's sick of those people now, and it's starting to swing back a little bit, trying to cancel the cancelers now. I wondered if it would be the same way on the internet interactions.
But I mean, it'll take them feeling some emotion, some shame, embarrassment, whatever, stigma from other people.
It's hard to do when everything's anonymous.
Yeah.
Do you think the online interaction as a whole, forget good or bad, but do you think as just the fact that so much communication, human-to-human communication now is done online versus in person, do you think that lowers the, I think something's got my left rod over there, my line.
Yeah, it's going out. Oh.
You think that's maybe a buffalo, he's got it and he's just not slacking it?
I don't know.
I'm going to pick up and see if I feel anything. I'm going to jerk his jaw. If I do, I'm going to jerk it into the next hemisphere. I can't tell, Daniel. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm about to set the hook on air. I set the hook on air. By gosh. I wanted to make you look good today. Look right here. Look right here. I didn't even need to catch that one because I got this one on, Daniel. You want to reel him in?
Nope.
I know you do. You're so damn jealous right now. I can sense the jealousy in you.
I'm watching a bite on mine. I'll catch mine too.
Something was messing with your middle rod there. I feel like we're skipping your turn again.
Well, I finally put bait back out, so. Oh yeah, here you go.
I think that's mine and yours, ain't it? We need yours to get hit at the same time and then them run circles around each other.
He's under here.
Yeah, he went under.
Oh, did you see it?
Oh, out there?
Yeah.
There's more around.
That could have been that looked pink, not orange.
Okay.
Could have been a buffalo.
Well, he ain't gonna bite right now because I don't have lines in the water. They're only biting mine the rest of the day, they said. Carp. The other one didn't even get my worm. Oh crap, okay, there it comes. I had my net hung on my rod holder. No. You saw that net. Oh, don't you do it. Don't you get around that motor. Come over here and act like somebody. This is why people think you're a trash fish right here. This is how you act. If they'd act like a catfish, nobody would treat them like second-class citizens.
Have you ever wondered if actually the problem is your netting?
Nope, that can't be it. Can't possibly be the problem. I can't get this one over here to get him close to the net.
It's because you can't use your right and left hand together.
Oh my gosh, he come right out. Did you see, he turned right then, Daniel. As soon as he saw that net, he turned. I wish he had just popped free at this point. Save me any more embarrassment here. I'm getting embarrassed on my, that's the problem with these unedited videos. I do something stupid, I can't edit it out. That's a little better one there. I might give him front camera moment. I don't have any lines in right now, Daniel. This is your time to shine.
All right, let's do it.
This is your opportunity. Like Eminem says, you got one chance, one opportunity. All right, fish. Let's pop that hook and hold you up.
Did you see that one that jumped when you were fighting that?
I saw the wake. I didn't see the. It was a nice wake though.
Fish.
It was your new PB out there.
Let's get him.
No. Quit. 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 Boy, ornery whole thing, y'all. Ornery thing. Not bad. Nowhere near my biggest of the day, but still a good time. Happy to have him, as the bite has definitely slowed from where it was earlier in the morning, it seems like, but we're still getting them. It's just a matter of putting the time in. Mother Nature don't want us putting that time in because it is hot. How are you not hot, Daniel? I'm burning up.
You got the sun first. I had an extra couple minutes with no sun.
Yeah, we should have had you on the left side of me today. You would have got more fish, and you could have got the suntan before me. What do I do with this? Okay, there it is. Well, you better catch them quick, because I'm about to rebait, and then you know they're going to bite mine after that. I know I was about to ask, like, do you think the online culture we have now, do you think that is affecting human behavior? Like our emotions, we're less, as a society, less empathetic, maybe, to people? Because we're exposed to bad stuff all the time online. Everybody's tragedies, everybody's, like, you can only, in nursing we call it compassion fatigue. Like when you've worked too much and you can just, you can only handle so much. I wonder if we're that same way in society as a whole. Like we've just seen so much bad stuff for so long. It's just, it makes you less empathetic.
Yeah.
I know a do-gooder like you could never be dissuaded, but an average person like me, I don't know.
I have two thoughts on it. One, we talked a second ago about like when online culture started, people brought with them the offline societal expectations.
Right.
So once online culture is kind of the norm and more common interactions, like we spend more time interacting online than offline, then do we start bringing our online persona into offline interactions and make us, more a-holes because we're used to doing that online? That's probably a potential impact.
Yeah.
Definitely the reach. There's a lot of writing and studies and like sociologists and psychologists and stuff who write about it's usually categorized as like news reach. Like now that we get news, thinking back a couple hundred years or something, like you didn't hear about some fight that broke out somewhere or some terrible thing that happened or a bus that burned up somewhere, but some battle that happened. And like now anything that happens across the world, some tragedy involving one person or millions of people, is in your face in seconds. And we just don't have the capacity to care about all that stuff. So when people spend hours a day consuming the news, what's dished to them, which is always negative stuff from around the world, absolutely that flavors our perception of the world and how things are and whatever. Where if we just shut that crap off, like quit feeding ourselves that, like our perception of how the world is and what our life is and things that are terrible across the planet don't stop, but like we aren't subconsciously getting led to believe that everything is that way.
Yeah. Life's pretty good outside the internet for most people. I mean, your day to day, everybody struggles financially or family problems. Normal life stuff, but
anything outside of our normal course of interactions offline, like anything that we get from watching the news, online, scrolling, any of that stuff is net negative on our emotions.
Yeah.
You don't ever walk away thinking you're a happier person than when you started doing that.
And yet we continue to tolerate it and consume it more and more.
So I think that is a pendulum that's coming back. There's so categories you see it in is like less view time on the news and stuff. Part of that is because people can curate. You're not just victim to turning on the TV and whatever's on is on and that's what you watch. You can pick, I want to watch sports right now, or I want to watch a movie right now.
Yeah, got more than 3 options we had when I was a kid.
That helps some, so people can choose to watch something different. But look at other categories like parents, like the age of electronics is going up again. The age of first electronics is going up again, and a lot of schools are like no electronics in school, no cell phone in school until middle school or high school.
I mean, I'm not a parent, but I would see the benefit of no phones in school. You should turn them in at the door.
Take it and run.
Okay, Daniel, on that note, here's a topic I talked about recently on a video. That video hasn't come out yet, so I don't know what kind of pushback I'm going to get from the audience on it. But you, as a parent, can be better educated on this topic.
Teach me.
Let's say your kid's in school. Let's say 3rd grade, 5th grade, whatever. Smaller child still. And his teacher gets exposed for being on OnlyFans, selling pictures in her free time because she ain't making diddly poo as a school teacher. Do you have a problem with that? Not like pervert stuff with kids or anything, but just like normal. She's a hot girl. People are willing to pay money for pictures of her. Would you, as a parent, if she was your kid's teacher, have a problem with that?
I got mixed opinion on that.
Mixed? Okay.
My gut reaction of a parent is that teachers should be this very specific person and the kind of human that they are in all of their life. And
well, that's unrealistic. Teachers
right.
Are people like everybody else.
Yeah. So that is what I would come back to, which is just like I think it's probably closer to what somebody does at home and what somebody does in their professional life. The kind of person who might do that and how that relates to how they might interact with kids, like maybe those are a little bit closer. But I feel like that is just another flavor of cancel culture stuff that when it's gone too far, possibly. Mm-hmm. Apart from it actually, somebody saying, hey, this person has an OnlyFans, like that alone, right now, who knows, maybe I'd change my opinion, but if it was my own kid's teacher. But I feel like that isn't any different than somebody like teaching at an allergy clinic or working at an allergy clinic and like they ate a peanut butter sandwich last night. Okay, did it interact how they work? No. If it didn't, who cares?
Well, that's my thought too. I'm like, if she's a good teacher, who cares what she does in her home life? Pay her more and she won't have to do that.
Yeah.
But
I generally think that we've segmented stuff a lot. We have my work person, my social person, my parenting person, my business person. Like, I kind of wish in a lot of categories of life stuff is integrated a bit more. But does something that somebody does in one category.
Tell Lawnmower Man to get the hell out of here. We need a damn Lawnmower Man
just
today.
The fact that they did something, does that exclude them? I mean, just like politics stuff. If somebody's elected to do the dog catcher job, and I'm trying to think of something that's very clearly different enough. They got a ticket for speeding, or I don't know, maybe they're still using a vehicle. Maybe that would discount what they do at work. Mm-hmm. I feel like, especially with vocation stuff, unless you can show me the link of how they did a poor job at their vocation, then who cares?
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, if it don't affect their job. There was that football coach years ago, Bobby Petrino. You ain't a football fan, but I think he was coaching. Oh, There you go, Daniel. It's your turn. I'll be damned. Daniel's got him one, folks. As Lawnmower Man's buzzing around us here. Lawnmower Man's come out the right time to see Daniel catch a fish. Long overdue here, Daniel.
Man, watching that V, I don't think would ever get old.
No. No, that's awesome.
Are you consciously like a lot more aware of your drag and not tightening down too much because their lips are so soft?
Yeah, I've ripped so many out. I've gotten better at it. I lost a lot of fish early on to too tight a drag. I still mess it up from time to time. If I get to talking, I ain't thinking about it and forget to loosen it, but I'd rather it be too loose on that initial run than too tight. And this is coming from the guy that's lost 2 fish today. So take that with a grain of salt. I hope it's another buffalo. I still ain't got to look at it yet.
It's that giant buffalo that I think I saw about.
Well, it could be. That giant one I caught a couple years ago didn't fight very hard. I thought it was a channel cat at first till I saw it.
Be a pal and pass me that.
Oh yeah, you need a net, don't you?
I'll show you how to net a fish.
This ain't trash talking now. He's got his new PB, Carp and Buffalo Day now. By God, he's gonna tell me how to net a fish.
14-year-old expert.
The good thing about you carp fishing me day is now not only will I get told what an idiot I am and how everything I do wrong, they're gonna tell you everything you doing wrong too. Is that your smallest carp of the day and he's kicking your ass over there?
Might be. Feisty little guy.
It's always tough to tell when they're in the water. I see them in the water and I give them the net and I'm like, wow, they're so much bigger than I thought. Either way, you were due for one, Daniel. It's been too long.
It was time.
When's the last time you think this guy on the lawnmower caught one? He lives right here on the river and I bet he never even fishes. He could have waited another hour. If I was him, I'd have been out here first light mowing.
Yeah. Should have been here
before it's 90 damn degrees. It's hot right now.
It seems to get more feisty when the water warms up. I feel like this is the smallest but feistiest.
I think you just don't know how to handle him. He's just making you look bad over there. Now you got your line all wrapped up in him. Amateur. Now you got the hook in the net.
Man, the other ones, once they got in the net, basically just chilled out. This guy's
he's
still swimming out.
He's getting his
So what's this? All of them have had this on their cheek.
Maybe you just caught the same fish over and over.
I mean, your last one had it was bigger. It was like that.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Hold on, buddy. There's nowhere to grip that. Armpits?
No. The smallest one you got, and it's sticking it to you here today.
There it is. All right, buddy.
Yeah.
Do you have that mark on both sides?
No, just that one.
Side. It's weird.
Maybe he hit it on the net on his way in. Nice. I mean, we've caught several fish for the short time we've been out here today, Daniel. I mean, numbers wise, we've done good today.
I generally think that people's behavior, I think that the reason we get so reactive is because we want to believe that people in certain vocations are
better than we are.
Yeah. So for somebody to do something that we wouldn't agree with or would find offensive or something, that makes us want to react and like, I mean, if they weren't our kid's teacher, would we want to burn them to the ground? Like if they did that, we found out that the cashier did that or something, would I?
No. It's the school teacher thing.
Because they're around kids? There
I
probably
guess.
is some thought to be given for like somebody that does that. Are there things... I mean, this would probably get kind of judgmental about somebody who does that. Like, are there other things in the way that they behave in life and stuff that I don't want my kid being around?
Well, who's the worst person? Is it the teacher who takes some pictures and makes money off of it? Or the kid's parents who are paying the subscription fee and consuming that content? Like, everybody's a pervert in their own way. Something puts the tingle in your dingle no matter what. So I just think these school teachers are held to an unfair standard, especially when they're paid such low salaries and they're forced to take second jobs anyway.
I don't know how many of your people are in a medical profession. It might be a double standard to line up a teacher expecting a teacher's personal life to be perfect because they're a teacher, and then also allow medical professionals to not have their personal health in check.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, I've seen that through my career a lot. When I was working ER, you'd have some fat-ass ER doctor trying to tell somebody they need to lose weight. I'm like, I can go in and say that, buddy, but you really can't. Or, you know, you give somebody a lecture on smoking, and then they walk outside, and there's the doc out there, and the nurses out back smoking.
And I don't think the solution, I mean, we can say, okay, medical professionals, hold yourself to the same standard, whatever. But I think a better, more long-term solution is to acknowledge that nobody's perfect. And that there's
People are
areas of our
people.
life that aren't up to par on everybody's standards.
I'm like, you know, when I was a kid, I wish I had a hot teacher. Hell, I wish I had cell phones back then. And you're younger than me by a few years. But when I was a kid, if you wanted to look at a woman, you had to have a friend that had a magazine, some old Playboy or something. Now these kids, they got access to far worse things than their school teachers are doing. What do you think? So you're a man, a poor excuse of one, but you're a man nonetheless. What would your wife say about it? Your rod did get hit right there on the right. You got a little love tap over there. Do you think your wife would be more sympathetic because she's a woman, or do you think she would be more judgmental?
She might be. Oh, good question. I was going to say more judgmental because she's sensitive to that. I guess maybe that's a question. Are women more judgmental against somebody who has a particular nighttime vocation?
Well, when you see one of these articles pop up online, sometimes I make the mistake of going down the comment box. Yeah, it's mostly women commenting. Now, whether they're real accounts or not, who knows? But it's the women who are more up in arms about it than the men. But it's the men who are going to be like, wow, little Johnny's teacher's hot. So I was curious about that.
No, that's a good question.
Because women are definitely hard on each other, judgmental-wise. I mean, my girlfriend, I was telling that story the other day, we go in the Asian spa, if somebody's got a fake purse, she's going to spot it instantly. And that woman's going to be thought of as less than others because she's got a fake purse. We do the same thing fishing-wise. Yeah. If somebody's using generic brand or something, like, men are the same way as women, but
if they call their fishing line fishing string.
Yeah. Use their spinning reels upside down.
Yeah, right. That's a good example.
But women are a lot more, like if I see some dude who's buff and works out all the time, like I don't feel like I'm less of a man than him. But I think women, if they see another woman that's super hot, there's a little bit of looks are more important with women.
Okay, so is the reason that parents would be more worried about it because they are thinking like, how do I verbalize this? Because it's not. It isn't that we expect our teachers to teach our kids the subject. It's because they're with them for whatever, 6, 7, 8 hours, something like that. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 hours, 6, 7 hours a day. And so we know that there is a lot more life learning going on. And so maybe,
But she's not in there talking about the OnlyFans.
But they're teaching my kid, I don't know, stuff, broader stuff than just math, and how to interact, and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, and things that if I don't agree with what they do in their personal life, I'm worried that that's going to come flavor through. Even if she's not talking about that topic, like, hey kids, it's okay to post pictures of yourself naked online. Even if she's not talking about that, is she talking about things in other categories that I wouldn't agree with? Because we have outsourced so much of our parenting to school systems.
For sure, yeah. Well, that's where I was going. That was going to be my rebuttal to that is
parent at home if you're worried.
Parent at home, but also too, like, isn't part of sending your kid out to school to get them more well-rounded and cultured amongst people who are different?
That is my probably number one argument against. I mean, I have personal beliefs and convictions, and I still don't agree with people who have my same personal beliefs and convictions who want to shut out things that are contradictory, because I would rather my kid get exposed to things, and then whether it happens in school, I'd like for it to happen if they're in school, but at the very least I will help. Okay, what did you hear about? Let's talk about that. What are some questions you would have about that? Like, I don't want to just isolate my kid to only experiencing what I want them to believe. I know they're going to interact with that stuff in other, as they get older, in other areas of their life, so I'd rather talk about it early where I can have some influence and teach them the why behind, and just block everything else out. If it doesn't agree with me, if I don't agree with it, block it out. Like book banning and that kind of stuff. I believe there is some conversation to have about, especially like sexual content stuff, like what's age appropriate. But if it's like political belief stuff or other like morals and culture and religion and stuff, like no, like let's have that conversation. Don't block everything out. Expose them to as much as we can, and have conversations about it.
Well, me not being a parent, like, I've got no dog in this race, but it seems like if I did have kids, I would want exactly what you're describing. Like, let them go to school, be exposed to the stuff, come home to me, and have that conversation where I can then have my influence over that, versus them being completely sheltered all the way through school, never having those conversations, and then going off to college somewhere, and now we've got all these protests and all that crap going on. Like, that's when they're going to get influence. You got to set the culture there at home to begin with. But now it's just,
I don't want to poke too many hot buttons in your videos and stuff, but
by God, poke them. This is what we do.
I feel like some of the more level-headed, like, are we allowed to say the word GUN? Weapon.
Spell it. Yeah, don't say that on here.
the enthusiasts in that category, or other similarly charged topics, or take like alcohol or something. People who have a respect for alcohol, it's in their home, but they're not alcoholics, but they also don't shelter their kids entirely from it. Like the parents who are exposing their kids and teaching them this is the why behind why we have this opinion, why we have these rules, why this is dangerous, why this would be safe. Like, that exposure helps them, rather than almost like creating a hyper infatuation with keeping it all blocked out. Like, of course they're going to get exposed to it. It's just whether they do it while you have influence and mutual respect enough to talk about it, or whether you isolated them from that, they don't respect your opinion, they're out of the house, and then they're off the deep end.
Well, then they're going to go hide it from you.
And then have no conversation. You don't have any influence, because they'll hide it, feel ashamed. Oh, I know this isn't something my parents like, and so I can't talk about it with them. Like, probably we do a lot of, people who hide that stuff out do a lot of disservice to their actual goal. If their goal is like, teach your kids how to respect alcohol and not be alcoholics and drink it or don't drink it, whatever, but not be controlled by a substance.
Mm-hmm.
They probably do a disservice to their cause by not having any of those conversations.
Yeah.
Entirely not talking about it. No exposure.
Yeah.
just like pay lakes. If you
Here we go.
If your goal is to have influence and to actually change something, you need to do it in a way that you reserve your influence. Like you can maintain respect enough to have influence over somebody. If all you do is go out there and yell and scream at people and bash people and call them stupid and whatever, like, doesn't matter whether your opinion is right or not, they're not going to listen to you.
Yeah, both sides.
Both sides.
I like how you circled back to the pay lakes on that thing. You just segued right back to it.
Any hot topic.
Well, and the hot topics, I mean, hell, they vary day by day anymore.
Right.
It's
the bigger framework to how we handle that stuff. Then
it's an infuriation of the week type thing, whatever's trending. You would think though, over time, like, these hot button issues that, I mean, everything, we'll go home today, scroll through social media, there'll be something going on today, hot button. You would think over the course of time, like, people would become desensitized to that and things wouldn't be as Chicken Little, skies falling.
You would hope. I mean, we see it in some categories, right? Like clickbait kinds of things. People are numb to, or like scam emails, except for my mom.
Well, I was going to say, they still apparently happen.
Yeah. I think probably there is some desensitizing that has to happen, but until it's a topic that you know pokes you emotionally.
Yeah, it's got to hit you that emotion somehow. That's what really fires people up. Speaking of scammers, I never post on social media anymore outside of YouTube, but like when I post on YouTube, every time I post a new video, within the first few minutes, I get hit with these spam comments. And it's always got like a half-naked woman in the profile picture, but the comment itself, it's just some generic quote. Yeah. Is that happening on, like, when you run your ads on Facebook, Instagram, does that happen there too?
Yeah.
Like as soon as the ad posts?
Yeah. We use some automation tools that help filter a lot of that stuff automatically, so as soon as it gets posted, it gets deleted.
What is I mean, obviously they've got like a half-naked woman in the photograph there, the picture. But with the comment being so innocuous, to use your fancy word, like, what's the end goal? Like, is it really working? I mean, they're getting something out of it, I guess. They're putting a lot of time into it.
My guess would be warming up accounts. So, like, if you're opening an account today and go post a spam link somewhere on Facebook, so you're like, now. But if you have an account that's a year old, has commented on stuff here and there, people have clicked your profile picture, people have responded to your comment from time to time, it's an aged, seasoned account. Then you go post some spam links somewhere.
Gotcha. So they're playing the long game.
Yeah, that's my guess. It's seasoning accounts.
That would make sense. That's the best theory that I've heard. Because it don't matter how many I block, man. Next video, there's going to be 5 or 10 more right in that first few minutes.
Yep.
Every time.
I saw a crazy one the other day. A guy I know had a car get stolen, and he posted, "Hey, this is the picture. Just got stolen." You know, we posted like on a local, like neighborhood watch group kind of thing. Just got stolen from this location. If you see it around, this is a detective working on it. Like within seconds. Like, I think I probably saw it 3 or 4 minutes after he posted it, and there was probably 50 comments on it already of people that looked like real accounts. All of the comments were some flavor of, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe this happened. This is so terrible. I'm so sorry. Actually, somebody I know had their account or had their car get stolen, and this Instagram account was able to track them down somehow. I don't know how. I think all they had to give them was the VIN or the license plate, and they were able to help track them down. It might be worth checking that out." And every single comment was linking to some really spammy looking Instagram account or Facebook page, claiming that page had helped somebody that they know in the past locate their car.
Jeez.
So my guess is that those people are, yeah, sure, well, we can help it. All we need is the VIN or the license plate number and $50 or whatever, and we'll track it down for you. While people are emotionally charged, in a rush, not thinking level-headedly, just, oh my goodness, my car is gone. These people can help. Great. I'm going to go send them $50 or whatever. And then every person who shared my friend's post, like, immediately on all of those. So it's got to be bots searching for stolen or whatever, and immediately loading all of these links in there. And probably making a lot of money from people who are stuck, high emotion, low logic. This thing happened. These people can help. Great.
Well, if they can run that bot for nothing, then any money they get is a profit.
Yeah. It was so crazy to see how many comments so fast.
How is it that, I mean, I feel like overall, YouTube does a really good job. We've had our problems with the links in the past, and now this issue with these spammers, but overall, I feel like they do a pretty good job. But Facebook, awful with it. And it's been awful for years, and it's gotten worse. Like, how is it YouTube can stay on top of these things? To some extent, but Facebook, it's just rampant on there.
Are Google accounts harder to open? Take more verification and stuff? You have to have a real phone number.
Well, hell, I would think that, of course, I guess Facebook you don't have to have, you can say whatever name you want.
All you need is any free email address.
Any free email address, yeah. I guess that probably is right. It's probably easier to open the account.
Is why seizing the account is so important to the scammers, because there probably are some filters in there that are like, yeah, we let anybody open an account, but you're not getting any reach until
right.
we think your account has some credibility.
Right. I have to believe that, I've been tired of social media for a long time. I've still got to do it, obviously, for this YouTube stuff, but I've really been over social. If it wasn't for YouTube, I wouldn't be on it at all. And I part of me thinks that as we move forward in society, like, there's going to be more people like me that are just like, kind of like cutting the cord with cable. They're going to cut the cord with social media. And then maybe that's when social media companies have to change a little bit, when they start losing customers.
But that's when you probably start seeing more like social media platforms for a purpose. Kind of like dating sites where, like,
yeah.
Like there's one farming something.
FarmersOnly.com. I know you've been on there. Don't pretend like you haven't.
My farmer stand. Stuff like that for social media. Then you have specialized, and then it just goes back into what the old blogging days were. You have different niche served, which only perpetuates all the issues of people not getting exposed to ideas, and only self, the word that gets used for round robin, pat yourself on the back with somebody else's opinion.
Well, you know what? Of the two cultures now, that's what I'd prefer. I can get online with the general public and just be blasted for everything I do, or I can keep my small YouTube community of like-minded people, and we can all pat each other on the back. I would rather have that than be more cultured and well-rounded, but be blasted every day.
Well, but then at least if you know what you're getting into, like if I was into some opinion of something and found those people, I still hopefully would expose myself to other things or whatever. I'm trying to think of a good example. If I thought that farming and homesteading and whatever was the way, I still would want to hear from other people who have other opinions, so that am I still right? Why am I right?
You need to catch another fish. We got two canoers coming down through here. I was talking about how we wasn't going to have to be exposed nobody today, and here they come. Probably going to paddle right over our lines.
I've done pretty much the same on a lot of our business is very heavy social media, but my personal social media, I don't hardly interact at all. People send friend requests, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I've got probably 1,000 friend requests on my personal Facebook. I don't even look at them. I just don't. I'm with you. Like, if I actually physically know the person and they come up and say, hey, I sent you a friend request or something, maybe I'll look at it. But I'm like, I tell them like, you don't want to be my friend on social media. Like, I don't post anything.
Yeah.
I never post anything. Like, it's
the only thing that's there is something somebody else has tagged me in, and even then those get probably filtered.
Oh, and here's the other thing. Once you approve them as a friend, then they can call you through Messenger, like phone call you. Mm-hmm. And I don't want people calling my ass. Even if I like them, I don't want them calling my ass. So yeah, I'm very antisocial on social media. But I've got friends that I've made in the past that aren't on there, and I've completely lost touch with them because I forget they even exist because they're not on social media. I don't see them posting anything. Something knocked slack in your middle line there a minute ago, Daniel. Like, it's completely slack. I was hoping maybe he'd have it. I hope these canoers ain't gonna go right over the top of our line. Surely they see us fishing here. How far back in this creek they wanting to go? We're damn near at the back of it now.
They're afraid of us. Start playing a banjo, right?
You got a pretty mouth. Old Deliverer. That was filmed in Tennessee.
Oh yeah?
Sure was. I think it's on the Ocoee. Old Burt Reynolds is never the same. He's dead now, ain't he? I think he is. The Bandit. You probably never even seen Smokey and the Bandit.
Nope.
You've never seen it for real.
I only saw Deliverance for the first time a couple years ago.
Well, most people only watch it once anyway. You've never seen Smokey and the Bandit? Oh my gosh.
Movie or show?
It's a movie with Burt Reynolds, like in the 70s. One of the best movies of all time. It's a classic. Unreal. What other movies have you seen? The Rockies?
One or two of them.
You've not watched the whole series?
Maybe.
God, how are we friends? I can recite damn near every line of every Rocky.
There's a gap of a lot of pop culture that I just wasn't exposed to. That.
But you're a grown-ass adult now. Who hasn't? I've watched every Rocky 10 times as an adult.
Catch back up on every pop culture thing they missed out on.
You should. What the hell's wrong with you?
Pop culture continues to crank out new stuff.
Oh, but the new stuff ain't any good. It's so much better in the 80s. This new stuff's garbage. I watched the new Ghostbusters movie a few months back. It was terrible. Seen that Civil War movie. It was awful. I went to see Bad Boys recently. It was okay. It was pretty good. Never seen Smokey and the Bandit. Hasn't watched the Rocky series.
Got a list on my phone of stuff like this that, you know, someone will say, oh, I can't believe you haven't watched this from something from the past.
You're probably definitely into Star Wars, though.
I have seen all of them.
All of them. You've watched all the damn Star Wars, but you ain't seen Rocky. I don't know. See, I've only seen the first Star Wars once, and I watched it as an adult. I couldn't get into it.
They weren't? I think Star Wars, like a lot of other things, by the time I went back and watched stuff, there was like so much hype around things that, like, probably if I'd watched it at the time and been a part of that, maybe I would have been into it more. Like going back and watching, I'm like, wait, this is what you're all.
Yeah, that's how I was. I was like, this sucks. I don't know how people got it. But at the time, I guess when it first came out, it was like, probably would have been cool.
It took you 4 hours to move the plot along 3 minutes.
Yeah. Tell me, though, you've at least seen Porky's. Funniest movie of all time. Oh my gosh. We can't be friends.
I'll add it to the list.
Add Porky. That Porky should be what you watch tonight. Your wife may find it a little distasteful. Okay, modern day culture. Did you watch the Tom Brady roast?
I saw snips of it.
But you didn't watch the whole thing. God almighty. What do you do with your time, Daniel?
That's a good question.
Oh my gosh. I thought the Tom Brady roast was hysterical.
Do you have any other friends that are parents?
No, I try not to be friends with people who have kids. They never have time to do anything.
Yeah.
I try to, when I make new friends, and I try not to make any new ones, they need to be child-free and they need to be already married. Because I don't want to deal with your kids and I don't want to have to go to a wedding. So they need to be married and either have grown-ass kids or married and don't want any kids. That's their only chance at being friends with me. And even then, it's still very slim because my social calendar's full. And I only have 1 day a week that I deal with people anyway.
All your salon appointments.
Asian spa, and it's delightful. You should have it done. Once you get past them running that cheese grater on your feet and putting the ice pick down on your nail bed there, once you get past that, it's pretty amazing. She did a leg massage. She was rubbing my legs all the way up to the knee. She got like past the knee at one point. She used some kind of fruit scrub on there, and then like it was amazing.
And then you waded up to your knees in Tennessee River and all that.
All that's gone. But here's the best part. So the girlfriend's right beside me. She's seeing this hot Asian chick rubbing all over my legs. She's not jealous at all, because it's just part of what you do there. I'm like, any other time in my life, if some hot girl was rubbing my legs, like she would be pissed. But not at the spa day.
So it seems like what you're saying is it's just a convenient excuse for you to get hot babes to rub on you.
Yes. And I'm okay with
Now
that.
you found a safe zone for it.
I've found a safe zone. I feel like it's going to be an opening door to so many new things.
So it seems like the sell isn't, oh man, a spa is so awesome, the experience is so great. It's, you should get hot babes to rub on you.
Yes. Exactly. See, you've picked up really fast today, Daniel. For somebody who's never watched Porky's or Rocky, you've picked up really quickly. Your wife will love you so much more if you take her out to get your toes done together. They even bring you a drink. I had a Pepsi while I was having this girl rub on my legs.
Pepsi?
A Pepsi.
In Tennessee?
I sit there and enjoyed a Pepsi. I drink Pepsi every day, but I was enjoying an ice cold Pepsi while she just massaged my calves and my feet. And I don't even like people messing with my feet historically, but I liked her rubbing my feet. I still got this spot on this big toe. That's under the nail. I kicked Daphne, a dog, in the face back in the winter. We was playing football. I was trying to kick it out of her mouth. I kicked her in the face. Didn't hurt her, but hurt my toe.
Another year before that grows out.
Yeah, it's taken a long time.
Somebody's going to take that clip of you saying you kicked your dog. And
Oh, they'll run wild with it. I'm surprised I ain't had people lighting me up. It was surprisingly, the first time I talked about the Asian spa thing, I had a bunch of people commenting that they too went. Apparently, I'm not. Every time that we've gone, granted it's only been 3 times, but I've been the only man there other than the worker guy.
it sounds to me like when a good old boys club gets together and says, yeah, I go to Hooters because of the wings. And they're all like, yeah, the wings. The wings are great, yeah.
Nobody says that, Daniel. Nobody says that. The fact that nobody's at Hooters anymore, everybody knows the wings are terrible. And the girls have been bad for years. They're on OnlyFans now. If they got any looks at all, they're on OnlyFans, making way more money. Daniel, it's been a long time since we caught fish.
No, what's up?
You think it's time of day or what here? Like we started with a bang and now it's...
My first carp experience.
Well, okay. So from a viewer experience perspective, this is your first carp trip. Like really trying to catch carp. What's it been for you?
I mean, the fast action was awesome. Fighting the fish was cool. Simplicity was cool. How peaceful it was before Lawnmower Man.
Lawnmower Man kind of dampened the day a little bit.
Being able to fish on a Saturday without pleasure boaters all up in our business, that's pretty cool.
The overall positive experience. Oh, yeah. So I may get you to drive an hour and a half north to come fish with me again on a weekend sometime. The company's been subpar. I mean, I would much rather be fishing with somebody that could quote some Rocky lines for me.
Or if they started offering carp fishing at an Asian spa, which they probably have koi there, right? Isn't there a koi pond?
Well, you know what, Daniel? The last time I was in Vegas a few months ago, you go down, they had these spas, you put your feet in with fish in there that eat the dead skin. Well, they eat the skin off your feet. So I'm surprised that's not offered around here. Maybe it is at some of these other ones.
With the catch your own fish for dinner place.
Could be. Probably better quality meat than you're getting at the other buffets and restaurants.
I would like my dinner to have feasted for the last 2 months on somebody else's toe fungus.
I would rather meet my own. At least I know where my own toes have been. I don't want somebody else's toe fungus. I personally find feet to be disgusting, but there's some perverts out there that really like them. Like, I'd like to show off my toes on camera because they've done such a fine job, especially with my corns. But I know if I do, then there's going to be people that's doing inappropriate things.
I first found out about that when I started selling on eBay in around first pair of shoes we posted got multiple messages. People saying like, "Oh, I'm really interested in these shoes. Would you mind?" Whatever, like shot list basically. Like, I want a picture from the top. Can you put your foot in it? And
did they know you were a man?
No, they're probably just sending it to every single shoe listing.
Jeez.
You send stand on your tiptoes. I want to see how flexible the sole of the shoe is. And at first I was like, that's really particular that somebody has these. And then when I got the second one, I was like, wait a second. And then
wow.
more kept coming in.
See, I knew people were buying like dirty panties and stuff, but I didn't know they were that into shoes like that.
Weirdos. Bizarre.
Wow. There's some weird people out there.
What if that person was your
everybody's got their thing.
Kid's kindergarten teacher? Is that too far out the line that you might think, oh, they have other things in their brain that are compromised?
They're just into like men and women's feet? No, I don't think I'd have a problem with them teaching the kid. As long as it wasn't like children's feet. You know, then that would be crawling. But no, I mean, like, I personally don't get it. But, I mean, everybody's got their thing that trips their trigger. Everybody's a pervert in their own way. And I don't think school teachers are any different. Now, it may be different, and this is going to sound sexist when I say this, if it was a man teacher versus a female teacher. There's something more repulsive, I guess, about a male pervert than a female pervert.
That probably...
That's sexist of me to say that.
Yeah, that probably is the equivalent of what you described with, like, female comments on the news article about the teacher.
Oh. Well, you think they would rather have it be a man, though, than a woman? I don't think so. I mean, when you hear typically about people being inappropriate with children, it's usually men. There's cases of women, obviously, but it's problems with men. We're really trying to get myself canceled today.
This video is getting blocked.
This is definitely demonetized.
Nobody can hear it anyway.
Yeah, good thing the wind's blowing through the microphone. I'm demonetized regardless now. Not making a dime today, Daniel. Where are we at on this crap? Hell, it's about time to... Man, we've been doing this crap almost 4 hours, Daniel.
No way.
It says 231 minutes. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, folks. I think, well, we done probably got ourselves demonetized. It's been a while since we got a fish. I think at this point, I'm going to turn off the camera. Thank goodness. Oh, there was one jumping right there. Did you see that, Daniel? Right over there by that pole. Thank God for this DJI camera. If I was running GoPro today, we'd have done overheated hours ago. And it's miserable. But I think I'm going to wrap up the filming. I'm probably going to rebait one more time here. And me and Daniel sit here, have some off-camera inappropriate conversations, something that for sure will get us demonetized. How we survive today with not getting dinged will be a miracle and stuff. We've hit everything today. But, yeah, y'all, it's been fun. It's been fun fishing with Daniel, even though he doesn't watch Rocky or Smokey and the Bandit.
Try carp fishing. It's fun.
Of all the people watching this video, you will be the only one that's never seen Smokey and the Bandit or Rocky.
It's possible.
I guarantee it.
I'll come check the comments a couple days after you post this.
Mm-hmm.
If people agree with you, I'll go watch it. If everybody says you're wrong, I'm not watching it.
Why would they say I was wrong? Because everybody loves Smokey and the Bandit, Rocky, and Porky's. Nobody's ever said anything bad about it.
We'll find out.
What could they possibly say bad about Rocky? It's an American underdog story.
It's possible that
He rose from nothing to become the heavyweight champion of the world.
Might be wrong on it. And I'll find out.
There's no.
Public opinion.
I've never been wrong in my life, Daniel. I especially ain't wrong on Rocky. American underdog rose from nothing to become the heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Then got knocked down a notch. Yo, Adrian, I did it. See, you know that.
So that I can prove I'm not a bum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ran up the stairs.
He knows all of this, and yet he still has no desire to watch it. It's
I've
sickening.
seen that one. That's all in the first one, right?
So you've either seen the first one or the second one.
I thought the first one, but I don't know.
Well, when he said, "Yo, Adrian, I did it," it's when he won.
Oh. maybe I only know that from memes.
Yeah. Well, he needs help, folks. He needs help. Ways. You know what I need? I need help with the damn air conditioner. It's hot, folks. It's hot. But you can get out here in these hot summer days, shallow backwater areas, and catch you some carp and have a good time. We got Daniel's PB, both carp and buffalo.
Yeah.
Just thank God the bar was low for us. I, though, walking out of here, big fish of the day. Multiple big fish of the day. That's right. So, yeah, still got him on that. But anyway, folks, it's been fun. I think we're going to wrap up the filming, though, and hopefully catch one or two more, and then my ass go in the house. And the air conditioner, that's where I'm going to be the rest of the day. Maybe, if you're lucky, he'll watch Rocky, and we'll see him again at some point soon. If I can get him to drive an hour and a half to come fish with me again. Normally, I see it so much better when you come to me versus me going to you, because then I don't have to drive.
Yeah.
We both agree. All right, now's a good point. I'm turning the video off of that. Y'all heard him agree. I'll see you in the next one.